Hey everybody, my name is Brian. This is the Popcast Unleashed, and it is a very special day. Shane could not make it. If you saw the trailer, he was pretty much arrested for trying to break into a Wendy's after hours. It was very weird. But we do have some amazing panelists here today. Some familiar faces and perhaps a face you've never seen. Let's talk to the group. Hey everybody, how's everyone doing today?
Doing good.
Okay.
Hanging in there.
All right, so if you guys don't know who this is, you got Matt Kadish, upper left, Mike, the salty trekker, upper right, bottom left, we got Danny, the Dork Knight LV, and a new guest on our show, Maria T. Tilly, sidekick, I think, or partner to PJ from the Orville Nation. What's happening?
I thought stalker to PJ.
That too, yeah.
So Brian, this is just a salty Saturday stream with a gender-swapped Matt Vader.
Yeah.
Much better looking Matt Vader. That's it.
Much better looking Matt Vader, exactly.
Yeah, it got out of hand really quick. It was supposed to be like, just get one person. And I was like, yeah, but you know what? It would be nice to have two. And then Shane was like, you know what? You should have Maria on too. She's fun too. I'm like, okay. And then Matt called, and I'm like, you know what? Let's just make it 5 people. F it.
Hey,
Well,
is this a members stream?
What's that?
Is this the members stream, the members only stream, or is this the regular stream?
This is both.
Oh, okay. Ooh,
I,
wow.
I just want to say in Shane's defense, I mean, which one of us have not been arrested for breaking into a Wendy's after hours?
Yeah, I mean,
Sure.
best time to eat.
Yeah.
For sure.
No comment.
All right, so what are we talking about today? We are obviously going to be reviewing the Orville. And this is a very special review for the Orville because we have 4 people giving their up and down votes. I have no idea how we're going to average those numbers, but it's going to be a very weird score, I'm sure.
We add them up, divided by 4.
I'm just going to tether
Isn't
my
it
up and
bottoms?
down to Michael's. So, like, whatever he does, you can just attribute that to me. We'll average it out.
All right, we'll see if you feel that way during the review.
Yeah, you may not agree with me. I mean, you never
Yeah.
I have
know.
a feeling you guys probably agree on this episode, but
Yeah, listen, we are also doing another giveaway. We have 3 things today. Instead of last week, we did Star Trek The Motion Picture. So this week, we're doing Star Trek The Final Frontier. 2 Blu-ray discs for The Final Frontier. And a very weird one. Ready? Rick and Morty Chia Pet.
Nice.
oh, nice.
So we have this
it.
giant box of giveaways that we're gonna do on our 100,000 sub stream when that happens eventually. And I decided to reach in that box and grab the weirdest, most awkward thing I can find.
Right on.
So we're giving away
I
2
can't
Blu-rays,
participate.
2 Blu-rays, and the Rick and
this
Morty
week.
head. What was that?
I said I can't participate this week. Last week I was one of the winners. That was cool.
No, if you're in chat, you can participate.
Nah, that seemed like the fix would be in on that. So.
I mean, it's
It would
random.
kinda
I
be
can't
wrong.
I can't control it. So speaking of which, we're gonna right before we start the review, we're gonna go ahead and start that first giveaway right now. And the first giveaway is gonna be for the Star Trek Final Frontier. And
Can I
it should have popped up pretty
give
soon.
you
There it
another
is.
copy of Star Trek The Final Frontier? I got one. I never watch it.
You're
so-
hilarious. You're hilarious.
I mean, what does God need with a DVD?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I say we just jump
And
right
I
into
see
the
much
review.
money printing is out
Unless you guys
there,
have
so-
something you want to add to it or whatever. It's a very long episode. How long is it? Like hour and 45 minutes. So
Hour and a half, just
Yeah,
under.
this was last week's was the longest until this week's, and now it's
it felt like 6 hours. I'm not gonna lie.
It really did. Yeah, it was long.
Felt long, man. Yeah, these are Blu-rays. They're packaged. They're if you don't have to watch them, you can just collect them, I guess. All right, here we go.
Like dust on the shelf.
Yeah. Okay, man. Here we are.
So you can watch those great special effects on Blu-ray of Star Trek V.
So we have the scores. I'm the only person who doesn't have a score because it's already going to be too hard for me to keep track of 4 people. So I've decided I'm not going to participate in the scoring this week.
oh,
But let's start with Kadish. Numero uno. Let me flatten you guys out real quick. All right. Overall thoughts before we go into the individual things. Kadish, what'd you think? Is it an upvote? Is it a downvote? What do you think, man?
So it's a sideways vote. The
Ah.
first half of this episode, cringy, unbearable. The second half, I felt like I was watching something out of seasons 1 and 2 of the Orville. So like it's a very uneven score for me because I was like I hated half this episode and kind of enjoyed the other half. So they cancel each other out.
All right.
basically.
So it's a 0 for you then.
Yeah.
All right. Danny, what'd you think, man? Upvote, downvote, sideways vote?
Gosh.
You're just talking about for overall impression
Overall.
of the
Just
episode.
overall, yeah. Overall impressions before we get into the
I'll give
individual
it an
stuff.
up because I didn't hate it. This was probably the least offensive episode to me.
Okay. That's
Still
good.
is-
That's a good sign, I suppose, right?
Yeah.
Maria, you are like the super Orville chick. So what did you think?
Well, you know which way that goes. Well, I mean, come on, Dolly. I mean, of course, it's get my upvote on that.
Okie doke. And what did you think about the episode?
I loved it. Well, I know that sometimes people can have like moments where they're like, why do we need this? But I always find importance with it regardless. So I loved the episode as I always do with them all.
Okay. All right. What about you, Mike? Talk to me.
This is as far as overall impressions, and with all due respect to Danny and Miss Telly, I found this to be the most offensive episode of the Orville, so a solid downvote for me.
Oh, this is going to be a fun review. Okay. So the review starts with Bortus and Kelly. They're getting their drink on. Hey, anybody remember when he didn't have to drink for like 5 years? Is that still a thing?
I thought it
No,
was
he doesn't have to. No, he urinates once a year.
So yes, but he still has to drink fluids.
They drink regularly. They
Yeah.
just only
Okay.
urinate once a year.
Yeah, I was like, I have to ask someone about this. I keep seeing him since season 2. He keeps drinking. Where is all the fluid going? I don't.
Now, do the female Moclans do Geloja?
I was
Or is it
just thinking
different?
about that. I was like,
They do. They just do it sitting down. Apparently, I guess.
Yeah, how does that work? I have so many questions about their anatomy.
See, that would be classic Orville right there.
right.
To have an episode about
Yeah,
that.
they have a Geloja
You know.
episode.
I
So they're talking about Topa.
A femme Geloja.
Yeah.
Just in
Geloja.
case you guys were lost, maybe you missed the episode. Topa, who was born a girl, was
Gender reassigned.
gender reassigned, thank you, into a boy. And then this season chose to go back to being a female. And that was a big deal because Clyden, her other papa, when she says papa, we'll get to that. Her other papa decided that he wasn't about that. He was very traditional, and he left them. So now it's just Bortus raising Topa. And Topa has some feelings. What kind of... Anybody want to explain these feelings that she has?
So when a girl likes a boy, things happen.
Right.
That's pretty much it.
Right.
Honestly, like I feel like they could have started this episode with with Kelly, Bortus, and Topa landing on the planet. Like all this stuff leading up to this was kind of like just had no effect on the episode. I did love her conversation with Gordon. Gordon's the best part of every Orville episode,
I agree.
and this was no exception. Like her telling him that she liked him was hilarious. It was very funny.
yeah, it was the only
But-
comedic
Okay,
beat
so
in
this is the
episode.
first upvote downvote we have specifically. The Gordon and Topa moment where Gordon was confused. So I am assuming, Matt, you're giving it an upvote.
Yes.
Okay, what about you, Dan?
Oh yeah, no, upvote. It
Yeah.
was the only funny part of the episode.
Okay, well that doesn't bode well.
No, it doesn't.
Okay, Maria, how about you? Upvote, downvote, thoughts?
Well, excuse me. You have to excuse my voice. Well, definitely an upvote on that. I think and I respectfully understand what he's saying about that, but I think the reason it was important was to show that there was no issues, or that they're the same issues of father and daughter as we have, in everyday life and their relationship. So, I thought it was nice to see that. So I'll give it an up, of course.
Okay, that's fair. Mike, talk to me.
I will actually get, this is a classic Gordon moment. I'll give this an upvote actually. And however, spoiler warning, it will garner a downvote later in this episode when Gordon is like, she's like a sister to me, even though this is the first time he ever mentions that she's like a sister to him.
Yeah.
This is another classic example of a series, and this is not the first time this season they've done it on Orville, where it's like they establish a relationship and then later in the same episode they make it sound like the relationship's been going on forever.
Can I just say, has anyone else noticed how closely Brian resembles Scott Grimes? Like he looks, sounds, and acts just like him.
So many people say that.
He just needs to be a ginger.
Brian's not a ginger though. That's the
I'm not a
difference.
ginger. Literally,
He's Scott Grimes with a soul.
every time I'm on a panel talking about the Orvilles, at some point someone brings that up. Fun fact: when we first started YouTube, Shay and I made a bet about something, and I lost the bet, and the chat decided that the loss of the bet would be to me to dye my hair red, and so for about 6 months, I was a ginger. And my wife hated it. I hated it. It was the worst.
I'm gonna have to dig up a picture of that.
Yeah, no, it's on. There's plenty of videos. All right, so we got a super chat from John Burns. He says, Jay Lee's "There You Are, Sherlock." Lol. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, that was
because it definitely took him a while to figure out.
Everybody's reaction shot in that scene was perfect.
He's like, oh
yeah.
I kind of feel like the engineering crew is like the cool place to hang out.
Yeah.
Those guys just seem like they just like have a laugh every time. Whereas it used to be the bridge crew was the cool crew, but now no, it's the engineering crew.
Now we only can upvote, downvote on things you suggest, right?
Yeah, that way the downvote upvote system is consistent. Yeah.
Right, because
you
I want to say
Dan.
No.
Okay. I thought you did.
In fact, quite the opposite.
Oh. Because we didn't get any Dan speaking moments.
No, we did get a Dan line in this episode. And that's what pisses me off, is that we are in episode frickin' 8. And now we get Dan? Are you telling me that Dan's still alive and on the ship, and now in episode 8 out of 10 we get him? Dan should be freaking dead if he's not showing up till episode 8.
Yeah,
he was
you're
also
totally
commenting
right.
on. He was also commenting on how hot Gordon is.
Yeah.
An attractive man.
Yeah.
Because honestly, he was one of he's been one of the fan favorites since season 1. I don't know why it took so long to introduce him back to the crew.
Right.
I feel like Yaphet's been criminally underused as well.
Well,
right,
especially because Norm Macdonald passed away.
Well, I mean, but they did this before he passed away.
Yeah, the season was in the can before Norm passed.
Oh, well then there's no friggin' excuse.
Yeah, which is really too bad, because obviously they can't make up for it next season, when if there is a next season, which I don't think there will be. But if there is, they can't make up for Norm. And with Dan, I mean, it's like that. There's no excuse. They wait 8 freaking episodes. And I mean, Dan come on, you got to have him give a couple of lines in every episode. How do you gotta
have something? Yeah. He was literally a fan favorite since season 1. Okay. So we're at the Admiral meeting, and he's explaining the mission and how important it is. And the mission, they're going to like this planet where the female Moclan are, and they're going to meet up with the Moclan, and they're going to, each make sure that the treaty or the agreement or whatever is being upheld. Now, this is really important, which is why I stopped here, is because of how important this mission is, and how the Admiral stresses how important this mission is and basically, do not screw it up because it's just too important to the Union, not to the ship, not to him personally, to the Union. This is really important that we remember this because I'm just gonna skip through all this because
They thought it was a great idea to make it a bring your kid to work day.
right, because Topa wants to go, and this is the next upvote downvote. Topa wants to go on the super important mission, and not only is she a child, but she's also a female Moclan, and that's offensive to the Moclans they're going to meet up with. Am I the only crazy person here? Come on, Matt, start with you. How do you feel about this?
Yeah, so a lot of the decisions that the Union leadership makes are very questionable throughout the entire series, and you just kind of chalk it up to like, that's the Orville. But you'd think that like, Victor Garber's Admiral, is it Admiral Halsey? I forget the character's name, but he stresses, don't, create any added
tension.
Obstacles that we have to like deal with. And so I'm like, well, why are you sending the people who have consistently created intergalactic issues with the Moclans to handle like you'd think that they'd send in the B team that has like no attachment to this whatsoever.
No
Moclans
on board. Right.
Yeah, in order to ensure that there is zero chance that they can have another intergalactic incident with the Moclans, because they know that this is like a political football, right? So they're handing it to the team that's fumbled it every single time.
Yeah, every time.
Didn't make any sense. But it was nice to get back to Lesbian Island. It looks very pretty. And, it's just, I felt very girl powered the entire time.
We know
Wow.
The island is quite, the graphics and everything are quite stunning. Real quick, super chat from John Burns. Thank you, John. For $5, he says, I mentioned in another episode about Yaphet doing something that would have been funnier, but in this scene, Yaphet smacking Gordon would have been. Yes. Yeah, we need to have, Mike's right. We need more of these two characters that we're probably never going to see again. All right, Danny, what about you? What do you think about sending Topa down? What is the planet called? I'm going to call it
Lesbian Island.
I was literally, yeah. First of all, I don't think they're innately all lesbian. I mean, look at Topa. She's crushing on Gordon. This is a downvote for me. I thought that this was stupid. I was literally like, why are they even considering like it was everything Cater said. I mean,
not to interrupt Danny, but I didn't give my up or down.
My bad. You want a downvote for that? I'm assuming, or do you want like 3 upvotes? What do you want?
Upvote for lesbians, downvote for everything else.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding. This is a downvote. The whole decision, like I understand why they decided to take Topa with them, but at the same time, I'm like, this is like a very important mission.
Right.
She shouldn't be going.
Just so many. I think you've said this already, but just so many of these command decisions just don't make sense to me. Whether it's the Gordon episode where, they not only do they not go back the extra 10 years, but when they try to take him and he says he doesn't want to go, they tell him that they're just going to go back to 10. Right. Just Mercer's been baffling me with all of these really bad decisions he's been making.
I'm going to interject here because Maria, PJ has an amazing theory about that. Has he expressed this to you?
We haven't had a chance to talk yet with him traveling, but yeah, he usually has amazing theories.
Yeah,
he shared it with me.
Yeah, he thinks this is a different timeline.
I think he's wrong.
Yeah, I think he's wrong.
Completely wrong.
I think the reason, well, he has expressed that part to me, but I wasn't sure about this particular episode. And I think the reason is because of the fact that sometimes they're out of character, and they make interesting decisions. So that's kind of why you're like, well, that wouldn't normally happen, or that wouldn't happen that way. So maybe there is a different timeline on that. So that's probably where that.
Okay, well, speaking of that, Maria, we're off to you right now. Upvote or downvote, and your thoughts on Topa going down to the planet.
That one is a tough one for me because, I mean, everybody's in their chair going, she's going to give it an upvote energy. The thing is that I believe that, I mean, I had to think about it, and you can tell there's a Zen priest in me here because, I do think, I have to think, it's hard when they think with their heart and the way things should be. I think maybe one of the decisions for that was because when he said that they were gonna go back someday, I think they wanted to give her that that idea of what it's like to come across such hostility in people, to give her that instead of protecting her from it. They needed to expose her to it for growth purposes, and that's kind of the way I saw it.
Okay.
Even after the Admiral stressed how important.
Yeah.
And
I think
something
because
I-
they believed in their abilities to be
and
able
even
to do
after
it.
Bortus specifically said, "I don't want to subject you to this type of hatred."
Yeah, I think so, and I think, I think Kelly has a lot to do with that part. Is saying, hey, she might need this for growth purposes, and I mean, it is difficult for me because I don't think that she should have gone down there, knowing how important the mission was, and so there was a battle between her understanding the kind of things that are out there she has to deal with, and how to deal with them versus an important mission. So this one is a tough one for me.
All right. So what's the
I
verdict?
have to give. You know what? I'm gonna have to give that one a downvote.
Wow. Wow.
I know.
Yeah,
Shocker.
well, something I wanted to mention before.
Hey, I had a side bet going with Shane. We thought Maria's not going to give a single downvote the episode.
No, whoever said that lost. I would give this other thing a downvote. Like Bortus literally says, "Stay here, don't leave the ship,"
Mhm.
and not 2 minutes later, she walks off the ship.
Yeah, you're
starts-
stepping on my thing. Let me
Oh,
get,
my bad.
Let me get to
Okay.
Mike
Well, it's
real
the
quick. Mike.
Same article.
Well, you got another super chat. You may want to.
Oh, thank
I'll
you.
let
John Burns, $5. Thank you, John. Bortus mentioned Topa needing Ed's okay to go, and Ed read the script and found another reason for Topa to go. Blame the screenwriter.
Real quick.
I genuinely laugh at anyone that can devise a comment that makes me think that you're actually making a point and then somehow makes it a problem with the writing. It's hilarious, really.
So I want to circle back to a couple of things. So first of all, as far as PJ's theory, I got a better theory. PJ's simply in denial. I'm sorry. That's all it is. And as far as to what Matthew was talking about, it's one thing to send the ship that has a tendency to step in it. It's another thing to send down the officer that steps in it more than any other officer. And I'm talking about Kelly Grayson.
Right.
Because Kelly, more than any other officer in the Union, is told, don't cause trouble, and then immediately causes trouble.
He's like, I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, what was that?
Yeah.
Well,
And
well,
I mean,
Kelly's so important that if she broke up with Ed in the past, it destroys the entire universe.
exactly.
Oh,
And
that's
so,
right.
you
Because
know,
because the Orville wasn't there, because
yeah.
they didn't have Isaac on board the Orville.
Mhm.
I mean, that was clever.
But it's not just that. I mean, think about it. Kelly, you could literally say, Kelly, don't get worshipped as a god, and she will immediately be worshipped as a god. That's just how she is.
Stop giving her
you know?
ideas.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
So
from a story
that's-
perspective, I like that they sent her rather than Ed, or her and Ed. because
Anybody would be better than her.
No, I agree. But
No,
I'm just
I
saying, like,
disagree,
from a-
actually. I think that
command
sending
structure-
Bortus was a bad idea.
I think sending Bortus
Yeah.
was a horrible choice, and sending Kelly was a horrible choice. Bortus, because he's already got personal bias. I think sending Ed would be good because he's got a good relationship with Haveen and better clarity than Kelly.
Yeah, so essentially
and-
they sent the only three people that shouldn't
That
have
should
been.
not have gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't,
Again, back to bad command decisions.
I was so focused on Topa, I didn't realize sending Bortus is a bad idea too, because he has beef with the Moclans.
Right. So honestly, it should have been Ed and Kiali should have gone. Not Kiali. Whatever the
security. Tala, right?
Tala. Tiala. However you say your name.
Tala.
Tala. They should have gone, not Bortus and Kelly. That was a horrible choice.
Yeah, can I ask a question though?
Go ahead.
Just a question, because I don't always know how this works, but would a captain actually go down with a ship? I mean, in that sense, you know what I'm saying?
On a diplomatic mission like this, this was not a high-risk mission.
I mean, Ed's gone on far less important missions.
Yeah. And remember, this mission was the only other people that were going to be on that planet were allies.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because at this point, there was no hostilities with us and the Moclans. They were Union members.
There's no danger.
And the colony was under a Union protectorate. And so there was no reason to expect any kind of danger whatsoever.
Yeah, their only problem was the tension between the two species. So don't send the three people on your ship that would cause the most tension.
Yeah.
You know what?
Does
that's a great
Tala
question,
have
Maria.
Does Tala have the qualifications for that type of
for an investigation
negotiation?
Isn't that her job though?
For an
inspection. What I mean by that
it's an inspection, not a negotiation.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
I think that makes more
sense.
sense.
Isn't that Tala's job though, to investigate?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. I mean, I know the answer. I'm just asking in terms of working it through like you guys are.
Yeah, that's why Bortus
would have sent.
That's why Bortus would not have been a good choice. That's why Tala would have sending Bortus made no sense. If anything, you would have sent the normal choice would have been Kelly and Tala.
Right.
However, Kelly has a tendency to step in it, and so Ed has good relations already with Haveen. So I would send Ed and Tala.
Yeah, I agree.
And it looks like we lost Danny.
I'll check on him right now. He's back.
Okay.
Okay. So Maria, you had a great question. Would that be
did you get my downvote on that, by the way?
No, I'll give it to you now.
Yeah.
Would that be a...
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you, bro.
Okay.
Would that be a mission that the captain would go on? And we've actually discussed this a lot before, because in the regular military and in Star Trek post TOS, usually the captain's not going on away missions. Usually it's the first officer or whatever. But in the Orville, they don't seem to have those regulations, because we've seen the captain, the first officer, the second officer, the third officer, and the fourth officer all going into spooky ships and all that. So
I've pointed that out in the past with not a fan of them doing that. That's why.
Yeah, but apparently they obviously don't have the same regulations since season 1. They
right.
Yeah, Mercer's gone on a lot of
right.
Ed's gone on a lot of away missions, so it doesn't seem to be a rule.
Right. So I think I agree with Mike here too. Ed would have been better because he has a relationship already with Haveen.
Yeah, I was saying earlier, I think my mic was messed up and you guys didn't hear me, but I think the correct decision, I think, would have been Ed and Tala. But
yeah, I agree.
Guess this made for a better story, I guess.
All right, so we're
anyone but Bortus.
Bortus was
anyone involved in the intergalactic incident over the kid who transitioned.
Right,
and the kid who transitioned.
And they send both of them. They send the father
and the kid to the woman, to the planet of all women. There's so much tension here.
It's not just that. Kelly was that served as kind of like the attorney. Yeah. Well, she was also kind of the attorney in the About a Girl episode.
Right. Yeah. So
she's got bias. Yeah, she's already hated by the
3 worst people on this mission. Okay. So here's
by the way, just real quick. I'm sorry. I have 9 too stupid for words moments in this episode that I'd listed out, and that was number 1 on that list. So
which one
was Bortus lets Topa go on the mission? That was number 1 on my list.
It's number 1 on my list too.
Ultimately, it was Ed's
his-
decision.
Yeah, it was.
Well,
Well, it
I
wasn't-
think the fact that Ted Danson seems to be taking a vacation, like
yeah.
his admiral would have put a kibosh on that. He'd have been
Yeah.
like, no,
Yeah.
don't send those guys.
Ted Danson is definitely my favorite.
He probably would have said, "Send another ship."
Yeah, send another ship.
have.
Victor Garber's like the worst admiral ever. He keeps making these terrible decisions.
How brokenhearted are you going to be when it's revealed that Ted Danson is the mole, and that's how the Kalons knew about the?
Oh no, that would be the worst,
Yeah, wouldn't it? That would suck. Yeah.
dude. That would honestly. You just brought up the worst possible decision. I really hope that
Darkest
doesn't happen.
timeline.
You know, and this season is full of them, so that's why
I
we're not
hope that
surprised.
doesn't happen. I hope it doesn't happen. All right, so this is not an upvote and downvote moment, but I did want to mention this. Once again, Bortus specifically told Topa, stay on the ship, don't move. And the second they get off the ship, Topa immediately gets off the ship.
All the more reason why she should not be on
This
that
should
planet.
have. This should be a votable moment because I want to downvote.
No, we
this,
can't.
but-
We can't
That's
downvote
why I
this
don't.
and downvote going to the planet, though.
That's
All
why I
right.
don't have kids. They don't listen.
Just
They
shoot
never
him.
listen.
The thing is, Topa is not stupid. Like, she knows like the stakes of this mission, and he
Right.
specifically told her, it's like, don't come out because the guys that are going to be pissed off are like right there.
Right.
And like, she literally like walks out in full view of these guys for no good reason.
Yeah,
Right.
and nobody says anything except
it's
for the
not like-
guys that
I mean,
don't like her. You know, like,
Are you telling me that on the flight down there, he wasn't like, now remember, these people want to kill you? You know, I mean, and she's just like, oh, you know, and let me go see the people that want to kill me.
Yeah,
So
or
is
at least,
that-
like
it's-
drop her off at the village before you go and meet the Moclan?
So hold up. So they've established that she's smart. So the only other reason for this kind of behavior would be like hubris, right, or selfishness, because she's a smart
You
kid.
know, she's, yeah. And by the way,
it's called
I
the
do
plot
want to say,
contrivance, Brian.
yeah.
Don't
yeah.
do that.
By the way,
Don't do that. You gotta explain it somehow in the story. Like,
yeah, in the story, it's
Only
just-
if you're a
it's-
good writer. Brandon
Yeah.
Braga wrote
oh
this.
my
This is-
god,
Yeah, Brandon Braga. Look, maybe he
Star
did some
Trek,
good
Brennan
stuff.
Braga.
Yeah,
he's
He wrote
one of the
this.
executive
Oh.
producers.
And-
He co-wrote
but-
it. Another guy.
But
wrote
you
it
know
with
what?
him.
He might have done some great stuff on Star Trek, and that was, you know, a long time ago. The
That's
man,
arguable.
he's gone senile or whatever. I don't know what it is. This is not his best work for sure. But one thing I do want to give props to is, because if you look at that picture you have right there of Topa and Kelly, is if you look up the actress that plays Topa, Imani, she is a beautiful young girl. And that does not look like her. I mean, it's amazing. When I saw a picture of Imani, I was like, holy crap.
Yeah,
And so-
one of the pros
yeah.
I have for this episode was actually Topa's acting.
Well, yeah, her acting and the makeup on her is
Yeah.
just incredible.
Yeah, the actress that
'Cause
plays Topa
when you
killed it.
see, yeah, when you see what she actually looks like, you're like, wow.
Do you guys notice how every male Moclan's like fake nose is kind of off kilter?
Well, every male Moclan literally looks like a big pile of crap.
Wait,
Well, they all look like Kate. What's Bortus's ex's name? Kylan.
Clyden.
Clyden. They
Clyden.
all look like Clyden.
Mhm.
But
Maybe-
they all their fake noses are like this.
Yeah.
maybe
Well, the
there's like
makeup
a,
is so good. I didn't realize that Clyden was the dude from The Walking Dead. And
maybe there's a lot more actual born females on Moclan than just like, because they said it was like rare, like one in every like million or whatever. What if it's like a lot more?
Oh, it has to be.
It has to be
Mhm.
with that community.
I mean, because you think about it, any normal species that has two sexes, it would be much closer to 50-50.
So do we know?
You know,
Because I know that the way the Moclans reproduce is the males lay eggs. So at what point do the females enter into the equation? Because the only reason to have females is for the procreation aspect, right?
right.
So why does their species have females if they're like kind of like asexual egg layers?
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I remember Shane brought up the fact that Clyden was also born female.
Right, which is probably why they were able to procreate.
Right.
well, no, I mean, didn't was
Bortus
it
was
Bortus
the
still?
one who laid the egg.
Yeah, Bortus was the one who laid the egg.
Exactly.
They
But
haven't
it-
really.
Well, no, but you see, I think, and this may be a little, and even though I may be giving them more credit than they deserve, but I think if they are being clever with the writing, if roughly half of the Moclan population is actually born female and then forced to transition, it's only in those couples where one happens to be male and one happens to be female, and the male happens to lay an egg that
Well,
they
the fact is that they've never explained it.
right.
Yeah.
Really gone in depth into it.
Just like the peeing thing. for
Yeah,
the
yeah,
girls.
but Mike would be right. That would be clever though to slowly reveal that.
Right. And so like Bortus was born male, Clyden was born female. And that's why they're able to successfully reproduce.
That's fascinating.
You
All
know?
right, I want to talk about this settlement because I don't know why, but it looks familiar to me. Did we see this on a Star Trek episode or something? Like this whole archway
It kind of felt like, I don't know.
or Stargate
Insurrection.
More like
episode?
some out of Stargate.
You're thinking
to me.
Stargate.
Yeah, it looks like Stargate to me.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I just like how this big open village has a fucking door. Has a door. It's just like, hey, here's the front door.
Whatever
Come on
it is.
into our
I actually
jungle village.
You complain about it. We'll get to you. I like the set. I like the set piece. So we're going to talk about that right now. The overall like set piece is the little flies and the crazy wood fire, like all that. Because we're gonna skip past that. So I want to talk about that now. This town and the way it was set, and the graphics and all that involved with that. I want to get your guys' thoughts on that. Starting with you, Matt.
So when I was watching this section, and of course, like we've seen this village before in previous episodes, the entire time I was watching this, I was just thinking like, okay, they're contrasting this idyllic jungle utopia of the women with the terrible, horrible, pollution-infested industrial planet of the men, right? Because the Moclans basically destroyed their environment because they're all evil males. And when we contrast that with this idyllic back to nature female settlement, the message from previous episodes is very clear, where like they're placing a greater importance on the leadership of women versus that of men, where men are destructive, women are, nurturing and fruitful and all this other stuff. So I felt like that was kind of heavy-handed, and that's one of the reasons why I didn't like the beginning of the episode, is because I felt like the first half of this episode was very heavy on the messaging, very anti-male, very pro-female.
I think you might be reading into it though, because I don't think that's the message. I think that
it's quite possible I am reading into it, but because of the track record of this season, I feel like I feel like the messaging is there. But at the same time, like they do a really good job of distracting you from a lot of their messaging with the fact that this is a science fiction tale that they've set up in previous seasons that weren't nearly as political as this season.
right.
So, but I mean, the first thing that the Moclans do when they encounter Topa is they call her disgusting. They act very misogynistic, and throughout this entire episode and previous episodes with the Moclans, they draw a very clear distinction: women good, men bad, and this just continued that for me. So, I mean, like the set's fine. I thought it looked good, but the messaging behind it to me would just doesn't ring true.
Okay, that's fair. I think that they're not like living in like this like nature and all that. I think the backdrop is because they've been hiding from the other Moclans forever.
Why do they have to hide though? They know about it.
Well, they
Yeah,
don't have to hide
they
now.
don't have to hide.
But for the longest time, they were hiding. It's like they were like living in huts and no technology. They can't build giant buildings and industrial like they had like this underground railroad of females, right?
Well, the whole planet was hidden by a nebula. That was why they stayed there. It's not necessarily that they got to hide on the island. It's that the planet's hidden.
All right. So you're giving that a downvote?
I'm giving it a neutral. Like I can't give it an up or down because I just don't care.
Okay, Danny.
About
What
the
about
set.
you?
Well, what am I voting on here? I could have swore you preceded this
the-
by saying
the-
it wasn't an up or down vote moment, but
I specified that the setting is an up and down moment. The setting, the female, what is this planet called? Anyone know? I forgot.
Lesbian Island.
Oh God, every time. The setting for the female Moclan's home, the dress setting, the graphics,
I mean, the when they're in space and they go through the
No,
nebula.
I'm talking about where they live. Bro.
I know, I know.
Oh,
What
I
I'm
see.
saying is, all of that was beautiful. All of this, I don't really, kind of with Kadish, like it doesn't feel like a votable. I don't care either way. I mean, it's like,
Okay.
it's not like it didn't blow my skirt up, so I don't want to give it an upvote, but it didn't suck, so I don't want to give it a downvote. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's the same set from season 2, right?
No, it's not.
I think, is it
No,
not?
this is different.
Okay.
I watched that episode, the 9 to 5 episode, right before this one. And
Okay.
I mean, maybe it's a similar set. This is much grander now, though. There's much more here.
It's all that Hulu money.
Maria, what about you? What about you?
Well, I think that they did the best they could with what they had. And sometimes you got to find a way to be happy with what you have. And to me, that's kind of what it represented was a better environment than they had before. And they're enjoying it. So, I mean, I liked it. I think, because I'm a big, I love plants. I loved all the plants. Okay, it was as simple as that.
Yeah,
But I thought that set was great. And
I recall them living in caves or something in the first season, right?
yeah, so for them, this is like
mountains
heaven.
or something.
Yeah, it was not. There was no nice trees and all that. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So, are you giving it an upvote?
Yeah, just an upvote. Yeah, and I liked it.
Yeah. That was a softball for you, Maria.
Weren't they in the mountains before? Like
Yeah, it was like
That was on Moclan.
that was
Yeah,
on Mach.
that was
Okay.
On
Moclan,
Moclan, Havina was in the mountains.
Yeah.
All right.
okay.
What about you, Mike? Talk to me.
I'm going to actually give it a downvote, and the reason is because they have been out. They've been under the protection of the Union for some time. They have access to advanced technology. There is no reason for them to be living like primitives. And so they are, in fact, trying to stress a message that the women are living in balance with nature, while the men are living dominating nature. And in fact, even in this episode, when they go to some remote Moclan outpost, it has to be on a desolate planet as opposed to in a tropical paradise. And so I really don't like that every time we see a place that is controlled by males, it's a negative, and every time we see a place that's controlled by females, it's a positive.
I feel like you and Kadish might be reaching. I mean, if you were trying to do some kind of Black Ops military installation, you would want it in the most like
I put it in the middle of the
like,
jungle somewhere.
But it's a pattern of themes, Danny.
No, I
right?
get it. After
I wouldn't want
you blew
random
my
tourists
mind.
walking across my secrets.
Yeah.
You know.
No. See, so I agree with both points of view, especially after you blew my mind last week, Kadish. You ruined. Like I did go back and watch that episode.
I
was
would
like,
want it somewhere where I
damn
had
it.
water. I mean, I wouldn't put it in the middle of a desert somewhere.
Moclans don't have to drink, though, right?
Yeah, they do.
And they can eat
Moclans
anything.
drink.
Yeah, right.
I don't think they have to drink as
Well,
much
doesn't
as the
that go
rest of
for
us do.
females too? Right? I mean, why would the female Moclans need to live in the middle of the jungle?
We don't know that yet. We don't know how they gel out with you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying that in their
Wait,
metabolism.
no.
the
We
same as
know.
men.
We do know. We do know.
Yeah, because
Clyden was transitioned.
Yeah, Clyden's a
And
female.
he's still Gelojas.
Well, he's not anymore. He like they gave him whatever they called it in
That's
the,
not what the swim team says.
in the
Oh,
ship.
sorry.
Hey, it's his preferred pronoun. You got to go with it.
Okay. Oh God. All right. Let's get past that before you start. You guys didn't like the Jolene. You didn't like that?
So are we going to
Huh?
talk about Dolly Parton for a second?
Anybody
we'll get
recognize the music they were playing was
Yeah.
They were
It was
playing a Dolly
Jolene.
Parton. They were
it
playing
was
a Dolly
Jolene.
Parton song.
By the way,
Yeah.
I love that song. So the second I heard it, I was like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
Oh yeah, and they worship Dolly Parton as their deity.
that's
So,
hilarious.
Can I just give a downvote to that because
What, the music
So-
or Dolly Parton?
the Dolly Parton thing.
Okay, wait.
because
We're
the thing-
about to get to Dolly Parton.
Okay.
Let's get there before because we're gonna talk about that too.
All right.
Wait till we get to the Dolly Parton part, then everyone can have their say on Dolly Parton. Okay, so this moment where Topa's looking at the, I don't know, what are they,
Fireflies.
Fireflies or whatever.
Bugs.
It's really interesting because she starts walking out there, and I'm like, okay, captured in 3, 2,
Yeah.
1.
Yeah.
And then she was going to capture right away. That's fine. She talks.
I love how Bortus says like she'd never wander off into the jungle alone.
And that's
She knows better than that.
another thing. Like, now this actress is doing really well, but they keep painting her as what she wouldn't do. That's what she shouldn't do, and what she wouldn't do, and she has done. She does the opposite of what they think that she should be doing every single time.
They consistently tell us how smart she is, but they show us consistently how stupid she is.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, so that bothered me because Bortus literally says she wouldn't wander away. She does the exact thing Bortus says she wouldn't do.
The second I saw that little blue luminite, I think is that what they called it, I said out loud, I was like, because she says it brings good fortune. I was like, okay, this is going bad.
You would have been great as if there was like a Moclan in the bushes with like a blue laser pointer.
Well,
John Burns,
also-
super chat. Thank you, John. The Union had to pull their support, not protection.
Also,
that's
I may continue to be reading too much into this, but blue is associated with masculinity, males, boys.
Yeah.
And they say blue brings good fortune, and yet the blue that drew her into the forest just brought her into danger. So it's more boys bad, girls good type stuff.
Yeah, and it also bothered me that like they should have made it so where those Moclans somehow planted that, because to go into how rare it is and how it's good fortune, and then all of a sudden she sees one and then she gets abducted because of it. It just was like, I felt like it was like a missed opportunity for them to be like, it was like remote control and it flies back into their little thing instead of it actually being one of the Luminites. So I don't know.
There was a lot of cool winky dinks happening in this.
Yeah.
So our next upvote and downvote moment is actually right here. It's when how do you pronounce her name? Havana?
Havana.
Havana.
Okay. Havana decides to bye Mercer. Have a good one, man. Or not, or whatever, friend.
Bye Mercer. He's gonna be on in the chat.
Okay, later, Mercer.
Stream later. Yeah.
So Havana, I want to make this an upvote downvote moment. Her recruiting Topa into her super spy network. Starting with Matt.
Who we starting? Matt.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, start left to right, easier. Because he's long-winded and Mike's long-winded, so.
So I felt like this was in keeping with her character.
Okay.
I also felt like this, like I saw this coming a mile away as soon as like they met in her little like Dolly Parton hut. I was like, oh, she's gonna recruit her to like break the treaty and cause some type of like showdown between the Moclans and the Union. That's going to cause Moclus to like leave and further weaken the Union for the 2 episodes we have left to bring the Kalon crisis to a head or something. So, I mean, I can't give this like the up and down cancels because like it's completely consistent with this character and what she does. But at the same time, it's from a story logic point of view, it's so stupid.
Yeah.
And Ed is completely justified later on in calling her out on it.
Yeah. And we're going to get to that too, because I'm not sure why everyone is so afraid of this person.
Yeah.
Like, she's like, I'll just deny it. Everyone's like, okay, all right, calm down. Like, well, we're going to get there. I'm sorry. That was my biggest problem with this episode. So, Danny, up to you, bro.
I actually am going to give this a down because while I do agree with everything that Matthew just said, it was like, it made me dislike this character, her asking this of Topa, and clearly putting her like in just a really crappy situation. I forget if we can cuss on here or not. Sorry. So I'm trying to self-censor.
I'd rather you
okay, good. So yeah, I have to give it a down. I just thought it was just terrible. Yeah, I'm not as long-winded and eloquent as Matthew. Sorry.
All right, Maria.
Few are, Danny.
Yeah, another toughie there. And I think, yeah, I think it was in a poor choice to have her to ask this of her, knowing that she idolizes her, just like Ed said, she's going to say yes. But I also had to think about, her desperation at that time. If if she's considering it, this is the greater good. We're trying to do something grand here, and you are the only way that we can get this going a little bit quicker, a little bit faster to save lives. How desperate was she? It was a bit hard to see, and I kind of got upset seeing that too, because that was a lot to ask of her. But I also have to consider how desperate she was in order to do that, because I think she knew herself it would have been tough. She even gave her the choice. You can say no, and this
Oh,
never
just like
happened.
given the choice of gender. So have we figured out how old Topa's supposed to be? Because like I've read stuff that contradicts like what I've seen on screen and what I think. Like, do
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah,
Early
Jeremy
Maria?
Snyder is saying that she's 3 years old. I don't know.
But the admiral said in this episode that the trial was a year ago, didn't he? Like he says that Admiral Halsey says that, and that's why they're going back, because it's been a year since that deal was made.
I don't know. I don't. And Jeremy, I don't
So
know.
it's
if we
just
can-
really
I don't-
confusing.
We
That's
can't
why
judge the species based on their like chronological age, clearly, because I mean, if she was 3 years old, you wouldn't be taking a 3-year-old down to the
right. I mean, and I did some research on this with the last episode where Topa transitions back to a girl, and I was finding stuff that was saying like mature wise or human wise, she was the equivalent of like an 18 some odd year old. And if that were true, then I'm okay with.
She doesn't look like anybody's 18.
Yeah, I know. I mean, like it's hard. It's like,
I don't think that
is she really old enough to make these life-changing decisions? Is she really old enough for it to not be cringy, creepy, inappropriate that she's trying to ask out, Gordon on a date? Is she really old enough and responsible enough to be a spy, a Moclan spy? I wish they would just clarify like how old this character is actually supposed to be, because it's terribly confusing to me. So anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. John Burns, super chat. Thank you, John. $2. This guy's on fire today. Haveen Topa was a spur of the moment thing. Okay, that's true. Because Haveen didn't know she was going to be there, so it wasn't pre-planned, right? Mm-hmm. So Maria's right there. Maria, I forgot to ask you, is this an upvote or a downvote moment for you? Or neutral?
God. You're making this hard. I'm going to have to go with the up, because that's my point, what John just said. I think she was like, holy cow, it's a bottle with a note here. This is our only way. So right. As difficult as it was. So
okay, Mike, last one to you.
Can I just ask you guys real quick before we get to Mike? If Topa was into Lamar instead of Gordon, do you think Lamar would have hit it?
God, you guys.
I don't think much is beyond Lamar.
I don't.
Lamar is
I
like
don't know.
The Captain Kirk of the Orville, dude.
Yeah, but like, dude, come on, like that's creepy. As a father to 2 daughters, that shit's creepy. That stuff's creepy until they tell me how. Like, because the way I see it,
we've seen Lamar have sex with some weird looking.
Yeah, but they all looked over 18. They definitely look like adults. Where, Topa looks like a kid, and from the math, I think
more importantly, Topa acts like a kid.
Yeah, she's either 1 to 3 human years in age. Like I don't think
a lot of time on her age. It was. I think Matt was just making a joke.
Okay, sorry. Yeah.
Mike, can we wrap this part up? Bring it home, Mike.
I think that means down.
That's the F bomb. He's giving the F bomb.
I found that was absolutely inexcusable. It's one thing to suggest that she might do it, but the whole "and we'll make this our little secret."
That was
you creepy. don't need to tell the captain or Bortus or anybody. No, heck no. This is hero worship, taking advantage of it. And no, we're going to keep secrets from your family, from your friends, and from every authority figure. And by the way, here's a little sparkly present just to make sure that you'll go along with what I'm saying. No. you know, and I'm sorry, this was manipulation to the core from her. Don't give me any of this. This wasn't premeditated. As soon as she saw Topa, the plan was in the works.
Yeah, I think, but I still think Maria's right. I think you guys are both right. I think Maria was like, she's desperate.
But you know what? She was desperate to speed up an existing process. This wasn't a necessity. This was something that was going to make it more convenient, not something that was going to institute something that wasn't happening.
But was it saving lives of those?
I mean, it was going to save lives faster.
Well, no. I mean, yeah. That's a good point, though. Does speeding up the process save more lives?
Maybe not. But you know what? Because you know what? If you do it faster, then that also increases the chances of getting caught. And so, and so, you know, and if you get caught, guess what happens? As soon as you get caught, the Moclans show up with the full military and wipe you out.
Yeah, that's true.
And
can we also talk about the ramifications of this thing? Because like, if Topa got caught on the Orville relaying messages from here, and the Moclans found out about it,
then the
Union would be directly involved in the breaking of the treaty, and that would give Moclus a legal standing to basically have the colony wiped out because the Union was facilitating it. Like, it was a incredibly dangerous and stupid thing for her.
It could put the entire crew of the Orville behind Moclan bars.
No, I mean, actually worse. I think it can start a second war.
Well, no, I'm saying like
third war.
Remember,
they're at war with
Moclan was a member of the Union, which means that legally speaking, Moclus could call for the crew of the Orville to be imprisoned, and they would be just to do so. It would be absolutely right for them to do so.
I was almost sure at some point the Union was going to be at war with Krill, Kalon, and Moclans.
Right.
We're just burning bridges. All right.
So yeah, I found that scene absolutely, and as a parent, and you know, if someone, I'm sorry, you know, I felt for Bortus later on when you know he beat the crap out of the interrogator.
I wanted him to kill her, kill that dude. Yeah,
but I cannot believe that Bortus didn't take that pain stick, bring it back, and cram it where the sun don't shine in Haveen, because what she did is the reason that happened.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. Bortus has a lot more self-control than I do. Because if that was my daughter,
the pain stick would have gone.
People would have died.
They stunned the guy. That, like, good guys always tick me off. Like, I guess we can talk about it later, but with the ships and like, anyway, I'll wait till we get to that part.
All right, we'll get to that part. Okay, so this is another moment. I don't know if I want to make this an up or down boat moment, but it's something that we got to discuss. They kidnap Topa, they get on the ship, and this guy comes out of the Union shuttle and says it's done.
Yeah, did they not have like?
Yeah, did they not lock the shuttle? I don't get it. It bothered me last time. There was a couple episodes ago too. I'm like, why is this shuttle just open?
Well, the Union lives in a good neighborhood where they don't have to lock their doors, I guess.
They're from Canada. Yeah. You know, it's like that in Canada.
So that's, I'm not going to make an up or down the moment, but there really is just like, it's just open.
Just goes to show that evil will win because good is dumb.
That's from Spaceballs, right?
Spaceballs.
Yeah. That was a great line.
And it's as relevant today as it ever was.
It really is, dude.
But I am kind of shocked at like the lack of like security on these shuttles that they just leave unattended. Like, wouldn't they have like cloaked it like they normally do when they leave a shuttle behind?
Yeah, they
they figured that they're allies with the Moclans. What were the Moclans going to do?
They didn't even
but still, they're there in a hostile capacity though.
But they're Moclans.
It's not hostile. It's like more contradictory. Yeah, but it wasn't just that it wasn't locked or cloaked. Like, the door was wide open. Like, the shuttle was just open. Like, the back of the hatch was just open on the ground, bro. Like, I don't understand. At least shut the door. Jesus. All right, they're looking for Topa. They figured out that someone took her and there's blood on her jewelry or whatever, and some male Moclan. Blah blah blah. So they get.
Oh, by the way, the this will be our little secret was too stupid for words moment number 3 for me on my list.
Okay.
What was number 2? You skipped over number 2.
Oh yeah, number 2 was the Dolly Parton boob plates on the wall.
John Burns says super chat for $2. Topa, that nice and all, but I just got out of a. I don't even know what does that mean.
Oh, he's referring to what
Lamar would have
Oh,
said.
Yeah, what Lamar would have said. Yeah.
That I wish you guys were here for that episode. That episode was hilarious. Last week's episode where he just got beat up constantly was the funniest thing I've seen in a long time.
So we're not going to talk about the sabotaging the shuttle.
We just did.
Oh, we're not going to up down it.
Oh, I mean, no, I don't know if I do it. Do we make that upvote downvote moment like their policy on closing their door?
I mean,
It's another plot contrivance.
It
Yeah,
feels
the
it feels
episode's
very
full of 'em.
silly to me to make that upvote downvote moment.
Okay. I just want to know this. Why didn't the Moclans disable the shuttle? Why didn't they break the control panel, blow it up, phaser the controls completely, do something that would prevent them from being able to leave?
Because then Bortus and Kelly couldn't have gone after Topa to rescue her.
Well, maybe they wanted them to take off and crash.
Well, no, because they couldn't take off. That was the whole point. Their takeoff and landing thrusters were busted. They disabled that and their comms.
yeah, well, maybe they did that so they would crash, and they would, and then when the Orville finds the wreckage, they just assume, oh, they.
Yeah.
Well, they can't crash because they couldn't take off.
Yeah, but when she tried to, the way she tried to take off, remember, it was just like barreling
No,
through.
but that was Kelly being like a maverick and basically like just Fast and Furiousing it through like the planet's atmosphere.
Right. Yeah, so I don't know.
But I mean, like, as a smart Moclan would have just destroyed all the navigation panels and stuff like that, and left it completely useless.
Yeah,
Left them stranded.
Yeah, but then it wouldn't have been also been obvious then that they had done that.
Well, it's not like
It was
wasn't
obvious
but-
anyway.
I mean, no. So they were trying to deny the fact that they had the kid. Remember?
Well, the Moclans could have easily said, "Oh, we'd already left. It must have been a jungle animal that destroyed your console or something."
That's true.
so yeah, so I guess they wanted plausible deniability.
I mean, the Moclans aren't shy about making stuff up that is totally unbelievable.
Okay, then
Right.
how about they take off and then tractor the other shuttle away with them? And then they say, "What other shuttle? I don't know. It was there when we left."
Or how about they just don't kidnap the kid to begin with?
Yeah.
That works. too.
Because
How did they know? That was the other question.
I don't know if we were going to do an up and down on this or not.
Yeah,
but
how did they
I
even
was
know?
like, how did they know that Topa had gotten this information from the?
Right.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
never addressed that.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
if they were listening, didn't they already know what the secret information was? So
Yeah,
they
we-
didn't need
yeah, I wanted to upvote and downvote that when we got to the interrogation. I mean, I guess
Okay.
we could just skip to that. That's a good point. Let's go ahead, Matt. Let's start with that.
So
Yeah, go ahead.
for me, this episode really flipped once Topa was brought to the Moclan Black site, because it became a space adventure show.
Oh, we should talk about this scene.
We're
Sorry.
going to let's talk about that.
Yeah.
first.
Okay.
And I missed the good old fashioned Orville space adventure stuff. And all of a sudden, like, I was kind of sucked into the episode because, you had this B plot of Kelly and Bortus teaming up to save Topa. You had Topa being interrogated very brutally. And then you had this other plot with Ed and, the village elder
Haveen.
and Havina and the, space politics with the Moclans and stuff like that. And for the second half of this episode, it actually felt like a frickin' Orville episode from like seasons 1 and 2. And I was having a really good time with it. Like there's some stupid parts here and there. But for the most part, like, if you're able to look past like all like the gender politics and stuff that was like forced into this episode, this was a very fun part of the episode. And the ending was even very emotionally satisfying, I thought. And so to me, like, I actually really started to enjoy the episode once we got to the Black Site and we met Cyclops, the one-eyed Moclan interrogator, who is just a total badass. I love how he started off. It's like, "Oh, are you thirsty? Here's some water."
Yeah.
And then like slowly starts like
That's true.
like introducing the torture and stuff. I felt like he was a very interesting character. I would have liked to have seen him built up a bit more over the course of the season before we got to this point.
Yeah.
But also like seeing Topa kind of like, take her licks, for the sake of like her, her fellow female lesbians or whatever. I just had a good time with the second half of this episode. And yeah, there were some stupid parts to it, but for the most part, I was like, I wish the whole season was like this. I wish we had this adventure and tension and fun. Like I didn't get that from any of the other 7 episodes.
All right. Yeah. So that's a good point.
So upvote.
Yeah, so you're upvoting the second half, basically. That's what you just said.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we'll get to that. This moment though, when the Admiral, Tala, and Ed are talking to Haveen, was it odd to me that everyone seemed so frightened of Haveen? Was it just me? Like even the Admiral was apologizing when she is clearly being belligerent. Anyone else have a problem with that at all?
Well, I did, but like that's why I really wanted to talk about the Ed scene, because I would give that an up because Ed put her in her place, and she needed to be.
I'm a little confused. What are we up voting, down voting?
Yeah, we skipped a little bit. So
Matthew is like doing the whole second half, and
we skipped a little bit. So let's just focus on this. The moment with Ed, the Admiral, and Haveen, when she's basically belligerent and on her high horse and self-righteous and selfish, and Ed puts her into place, yet the Admiral doesn't. The Admiral, Victor.
So for me, like I would do like a up for Ed, down for the Admiral in that scene, so it's a wash. So like a nothing for me.
Well, the funny thing is like kind of like the theme of this episode is that the Moclans are all jerks, even like the females.
Right.
And in this scene, like Ed finally kind of like leans into I forget her name again. Haveen really leans into her, but even that has no effect. It's not until Dolly Parton, the god of all femininity, appears that she actually like changes her mind about stuff. So like even though like this was a good scene where Ed finally kind of like said what the audience is thinking, it had no real effect on the story.
Right. Yeah, that's why I was saying.
So you guys are both neutral then. Because of that, up and down.
I am. I don't know about Kadish. Yeah.
He just basically said the same thing. Maria, what about you?
I don't know if they were afraid of her. I think that they just needed her to do what she needed to do. And also, maybe, and I'm always giving people the benefit of the doubt, maybe they tried to tolerate the cultural difference in how Bortus communicates with people, like even his famous "you will be silent" kind of thing. Yeah. So are they trying to understand her because they communicate that way? I don't know. I'm asking.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like when he yelled at the kid for playing at an octave too high, when he was singing,
Yeah.
Quick moment. Angelito, if you want to do the raffle, it's exclamation point raffle, not I raffle. Yeah, I mean, I guess they're all rude, but she is clearly in the wrong here. They know exactly what she's done. She's admitted to it.
Can I also point out that like Ed isn't incensed over the fact that she's basically broken the treaty and is trying to smuggle more females out of Moclan. He's upset that she got Topa involved.
Yeah,
that's the thing that not the grander scale ways. Many outweigh the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few type things. Like Ed's just like, oh, you messed with like this little girl I know. You're a bad person.
Yeah, and that's what bothers me. Okay, so fine. His reaction was because of the little girl, but wait a minute. There is a much grander picture here. This person, this single person's actions, Haveen's actions, is threatening potentially the entire Union. Right? The Admiral, if he's gonna get mad over this girl he knows on his ship, the Admiral should have a little more testicular fortitude to be like, listen, make this right because the entire union is at risk.
Yeah,
because of this
the union
person's
stuck
actions.
their neck out for her, right?
Right. Why is the Admiral not pissed? I understand that there's a cultural issue, but there's a time where there's no diplomacy when you're risking the entire union.
If you look at all this messaging they've been doing, especially like, you know, Kadish has been very good at pointing out this entire season with the whole, you know, man bad, woman good thing. They've keep making it clear that the union disagrees with the Moclan culture and that they do support the women. So I don't like. I guess I'm not as outraged over that as you guys are, just because like it kind of seems like they've already set up like, you know, the union doesn't really like the Moclans. They're always talking, you know, smack about them behind their back, and they want women to have equal rights there. So that part, you know, I understood more like them being upset about Topa and not so much about, you know, Haveen trying to save more girls.
I get what you're saying, but okay. I get what you're saying. I don't care if the union agrees with socially agrees with the, you know, female Moclans over the male Moclans or whatever. They are in the middle of two wars with competing superior species. They can't lose their military might. I don't care if you disagree with someone. Like I have employees that I don't always like all the time, but they do a good job. You know, there's a point where you have to diplomacy just because you agree with their opinions, but they're threatening the entire union. He's an admiral, bro. He's not a psychologist. He's not a school counselor.
Kadish, do you want me to quote you, or do you want to say the line about expecting logic? Because I feel like that's what
you can quote me.
You're expecting logic, Brian, when there is none in the show, or whatever. You know.
No, but the problem is, like, if they're writing from the perspective that, oh well, you know, they don't really like the Moclans and they approve more of this person than the Moclans, but that doesn't really matter. None of that social stuff matters when you're in the middle of two wars.
No, and that makes perfect sense, but it doesn't jive with the message that, you know, McFarlane and apparently Brendan Braga are trying to push with this season, because it has been.
Can I also ask, just with an in-universe stuff, why are the Moclans so important to the Union? Like, I know that they say, "Oh, we build all your weapons," but this is a society with matter replication where they can just hit a button and anything pops up. So, what do they need the Moclans for?
I don't think it's that easy. I think weapons are different, dude.
Well, they also develop more weapons.
I mean, even in Star Trek, you can't just replicate a phaser.
That's just because you got to turn the safeties off.
You can't. I mean, I don't know why not. I don't live in the 28th century. But
they've actually mentioned this in Star Trek in the past. They can't replicate anything with too many complex moving parts or something like that.
I think it's power source or something. We can't.
I remember them.
But you could replicate components,
but that's actually Star Trek, so not Orville. So
I don't know, but whatever it is, they clearly can't replicate weapons because they've made it very clear since season 1 that Moclan is like their weapon people. So that's whatever the case.
Because Moclans are all masculine, and masculine is bad, and they make weapons.
You guys are reading. You're reading into that, I think.
I don't think so, man.
Okay, Maria and Mike. Talk to me, Maria.
Let Mike go first for a bit.
You okay, Maria?
No, it's just I'm still not feeling well.
I'm sorry,
very
Maria.
sick, so my voice is kind of crapping out on me.
This is a downvote for me.
Surprise.
Well, I know. It's like Maria will probably be an upvote. You know, she and I are just going to have polar opposite scores by the end of this.
So glad I put you guys next to each other. Perfect.
So yeah, you know, but this is just a perfect example of why I think the writing for this season is so wrong. It's so it doesn't work for me because nothing about the Union. People say, "Oh, look, it's a great new Star Trek series." No, the Union would completely collapse in on itself. There's no way that this organization could survive. because some kid could show up with a slingshot and take over the Union. There's absolutely no way that the Union could survive if they're going to seriously consider letting the entire ball of wax collapse because a kid got hurt. And don't get me wrong, I think that the Topa story is actually the most compelling part of, especially the second half of this. I think, and like I said, the Imani, the little girl that played, and I had to look her up because I was so blown away by her performance in the second half of this episode.
Oh yeah.
She absolutely brought it for the second half of this episode. But could you imagine if the United States surrendered to a foreign aggressor because one dignitary's child got kidnapped?
Yeah, it wouldn't happen.
Right. Could you, that's what we're looking at here.
Yeah, that's why it's so, I'm with you. That's why it's so frustrating for me. Like, right. I don't understand why we're being so nice right now.
Right. This is absolutely asinine to the core. And the thing is that then we have Ed, who's basically, he calls her out on it. And I do like that he calls her out, but he's calling her out not because of the catastrophic galaxy ending consequences of her action, but because of the kid.
Right.
And
it's
so it's
so
like
internalized. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't even care about the fact that everything everyone is about to come crashing to an end. You care about the little girl.
Right. And before the little girl, he's like apathetic, which is like,
right.
It's like, oh, you have to get real personal for it to matter.
Right. And this just goes, the problem here is that this episode is 100% about feeling and nothing about rationality.
I would probably agree with you on that. Well, not the entire episode, but at least that part. All right, Maria, what do you think? I can't wait for Maria to take your argument and flip it into a positive.
And Telly, I still love you, so you can say I'm wrong. You can tell me.
I have much respect for all of you, and I think it's just because I, again, it's just the way I view things in general, and why I always give people a pass. I'll have to agree with you. It was kind of like, wow, there's a whole lot at stake here, Salty. So yes, I'm actually agreeing on that part. It was a bit difficult, but at the same time, Dr. O in the chat made a good point. The one thing about the show is that it shows that good people can still make bad decisions, and we have to figure out how to get through it. Did he not say anything because he's like, oh my God, we're just going to have to deal with this, but we're going to have to deal with the situation that you're putting us into and regroup with that, and then point out to her the problem with, like Salty was saying, and you'll have to excuse me because I'm not feeling well, but so I do see your point, but I'm just wondering if he already said, we're going to have to figure this out. But Let me tell you what's really chapping my hide here is what you did in this situation to kind of, bring that to the attention. I don't think it's going to go unnoticed, so to say. But, let me see, up or down. I think that, the way he came at her was good for me. I think he did what a lot of us were thinking. So I'll have to give him a thumb, the up on that, because at least he did that instead of just say, well, he didn't ignore it.
Yeah, Ed acted appropriately. I felt like the Admiral did not. John Burns, super chat. Read the Federation. The Orion pirates were okay because of the Federation. If the Federation went after them, Federation members would drop out. Moclan's go. Others might? Question mark. I don't know. I don't know how that works in the Union. I feel like the Moclans clearly are very important to the Union, not just like the humans, but the Moclans. It appears that they serve a lot of the other races.
Well, they can't be that important since they got expelled. So
right. Oh, Maria.
Go.
I'm on mute, so I don't know.
Oh, is that not me?
I don't know. Faded out.
It's still going on now. I'm just gonna.
yeah, still hear it.
It's Danny.
hear
It's
it
you,
quietly.
Danny. It's you, Danny. Your mic's acting weird. Bud.
Yeah. You.
Yeah, it's still got some crazy feedback.
Try disconnecting, reconnecting your mic, Danny.
Yeah. Okay. There, it's back. You're good, bro. Nope, no, you're not.
No.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah. You're still. Yeah. You know. Yeah. Disconnect the cable and put it back or something. I'm gonna mute him for a second. All right, back to this. All right, now Dolly Parton. All right, so I'm going to be biased here. I actually love Dolly Parton. I have loved her my entire life. So seeing Dolly Parton in the flesh and not just in drawings or music, for me, even if it like, maybe you're right, maybe it didn't work with the story. If I was giving up votes and down votes right now, this would be a giant fat up vote. But it's not up to me, so I'm going to bring it to you, Matt. How you feel about Dolly Parton, bro?
So I love Dolly Parton personally. I think she's a national treasure. Makes some fun movies. Looks great for her age.
Okay.
She's fantastic. The thing that I didn't like about this, though, is that in the previous episode with, the female Moclans and stuff like that, the Dolly Parton thing was a joke. It was funny. It played into the episode in a humorous way that worked out really well, culminating in that Dolly Parton song and all that other stuff. This episode, it stopped being a joke and they made it like a serious plot point. And to me, the tone of this plot point was just all off because they had played it for a joke in the previous episode. In this episode, they're playing it very straight, where Dolly Parton's like this wise sage who gives the advice that this lady needs to hear, and she's kind of worshipped as a god amongst the Moclan lesbians and all this other stuff. So I didn't like it. I didn't feel like it played very well, and to me, this gets a downvote.
Okay, now we're talking. Now we're talking turkey. All right, what about you, Danny? I'm going to unmute you for a second.
Oh, hopefully this doesn't sound.
There's still some feedback, but I want to get your opinion.
Gosh. Then I'll be quick. Upvote. I was pleasantly surprised that they actually got Dolly Parton, and I was like, "Wow, she still looks great to be 100 years old."
Great,
she has an incredible surgeon.
It must. That or they de-aged her. I don't know.
Whoever is an artist.
No, she'll admit it. She totally admits it. It's her surgeon.
Yeah. This was a guilty pleasure type of thing. I shouldn't like it, but I did, so I have to give it an upvote.
I'm the same way. Yeah. Okay. All right. What about you, Maria?
Okay. Well, yes, Dolly's been a part of my life for a very long time. I enjoy seeing her, but I think at this point that that they were definitely trying to, they always try to find a way into a person to motivate them in a certain way, and this was her motivation. Mm-hmm. So it worked in the sense that because she idolized her and they needed to find a reason, they had to bring in something that appealed to her in order for her to get her to change her mind.
Right.
And that's why I think they had to go that far.
Okay. So
it gets, I think it was great. It was good to have Dolly there because of, the comical thing that they did before and everything. And everybody cheered for Dolly to be on there. And I think it was a nice touch. But I think it was necessary because that was the only way to reach her. That's how I see it.
Okay. So you're giving it an upvote, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes. Don't be mad, guys.
All right,
I'm
no,
just
no,
telling
no,
like
no,
a kid.
no. This
Why would we get mad at you for giving your opinion?
Yeah, just so you guys know, the point of this system is to have a score that's based on multiple people's subjective opinions. That's the point of it. So it's perfect. Mike, I want to see how you turn this into a negative point. I have a feeling you're about to do that right now.
Well, first of all, let me tell you my personal biases about Miss Parton. My dad was a fan of Dolly Parton way back, but he admits the only reason he had Dolly Parton records back in the 70s was to look at the album covers. But the and I now I live in Tennessee. And I have to say that I didn't know much about Dolly Parton until I moved to Tennessee, and I've become. I don't care for country music. I'm just putting that out there. I don't particularly like country music, but I am a huge fan of Dolly Parton, the person, and the work that she's done. The fact that when there were big fires in Sevierville, she put up a bunch of her own personal money to help the people of Sevierville recover. There was some tornadoes that ripped through a section of Nashville, and she put up a bunch of her own money to help out the people. She is she is just an incredible force of good in Tennessee, and so I have nothing but love for Dolly the person. And so I absolutely have nothing bad to say about Dolly the person. That being said, I actually, on my list of too stupid for words moments, have Dolly listed twice.
Wow.
And the first one was from the shrine of Dolly from early on in the film, the fact that there are two boob-shaped plates hanging on the wall, which I found tacky and quite frankly beneath the producers of the show. And I'm actually kind of, I know Dolly's make jokes about her, exaggerated bust size in the past, but even so, I thought the boob plates were a bit much, even so. And the other was for this scene, and partially because this Dolly Parton, Havana never would have recognized. Havana didn't know 75-year-old Dolly Parton.
Oh yeah, that's right. She remembers you.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair though, she
knew 35-year-old Dolly Parton. Right? She this is not the Dolly Parton that she had ever heard of. And so why didn't he create a simulation? Now, of course, we know the practical reason, and because they didn't want to, spend a bunch of money on visual effects. But and then so that's problem A. Problem B is that this is the only reason that Dolly appears in this is because of one reason only, and that is fan service. Because Seth MacFarlane, quite frankly, would consider Dolly Parton's beliefs to be as offensive as the Moclans. And so, I'm honestly, there is no way that Seth MacFarlane would put Dolly Parton on the show if not for the fact that the fans demanded it.
That's a good point. Yeah, their political beliefs are very opposite.
Yeah. And so, the fact that this happened was only because the fans demanded it, and it felt very shoehorned in. And in fact, as soon as it says, "Oh, there's someone that the captain wants you to meet," and then there's that one scene, and then it's over.
All right. So up vote, down vote. I'm assuming down vote.
Yeah, it's a down vote.
Okay. All right, real quick. Jeremy Snyder has a good point here. Whoever is referring to the Moclan women as Moclan lesbians, but isn't referring to Moclan men as Moclan gays.
Oh, I refer to them as gay Klingons.
Oh, I see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's what they started off
And
as,
John
right?
Burns says, I listen to Dolly's music for the articles.
That's what my dad would have said.
That's great. Okay. All right, moving along here. We're just gonna skip past this. We're gonna skip to the torture.
That is a typical Dolly story, though. I will say that. That is a very typical Dolly story.
I was gonna say I hate to bow out, but I need to go get some rest.
Okay.
No.
All right,
That's
Maria,
okay.
no problem.
So we'll just assume that
Sorry.
every time I give a downvote, you would have given
Did
me
I
an
give an
upvote.
upvote?
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna assume that. Maria, thank you so much for joining us.
You know what? It was actually fun, and if I was feeling better, I would have stuck
No,
through here.
no worries. Next time.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
worries at all.
I enjoyed myself. Great to work with all of you, and
Okay.
hope to see you again soon.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming.
Okay,
Feel
thank
better.
you.
Bye bye. I'm just gonna plate her little pour here so it records right. Okay.
So we lost better looking Vader,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
we lost better looking Vader. All right, so I'm still gonna give her, and every time you give a downvote, I'm just gonna upvote because that's what's been going on the whole time. Let's see how your mic is real quick, Dan.
Okay.
You're
Now
good.
you sound better.
Yeah, you
Yeah, the
sound
buzz
much
is
better.
gone.
Okay.
Yeah, Kadish might have been onto something. He gave me a little bit of advice. So I was taking
All right,
care of
quick super chat from John Burns, $5. Thank you, John. Damn, this guy's on fire. He says,
Dude,
people building
John-
a statue to Peter Griffin look like an Emmy, hint, hint. Dolly Shrine when Dolly moved to the couch, was it CGI? I don't think any of it was CGI. I think she looks great.
No.
I think she looks really, really good, actually.
And that, yeah, I've seen her. And in fact, the funny, and here's the humility of Dolly Parton is that now, for those of you that don't know, if you've never been to the area, Nashville, Tennessee is the capital of Tennessee. And the Tennessee legislature wanted to put a statue of Dolly Parton in front of the Tennessee legislature because, it's like she's such a treasure to the state. And she straight up refused it. She told them, no, do not do it. Spend the money on something more deserving than me.
That's awesome.
And that's just the kind of person. And she wasn't saying it out of vanity. She was saying, look, if I want a statue, I can pay for it myself. So she and that's just the kind of person she is.
Yeah. It's good. Yeah, I like her too. All right.
Also, John Byrne is putting Brian's kids through college right now.
Yeah, John.
it.
It's like super chat to super chat.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, man.
So John, be sure to come on to my stream a little later tonight and
Yeah.
share the love.
I think he's bought me pizza. All right. All right. So now we're finally at the part where Kadish likes, because I also like this guy. I like the Moclan with the
he
one
was
eye.
badass.
He was awesome. The whole vibe he had coming in, like, hey man, you need some water. The actor played this role very well. It was written well. The whole thing was very good. Topa they didn't even hold back. Like it looked like they just beat the crap out of a child. It was
brutal.
It was brutal. Very well done. And the audience needed to see this because, in my opinion, before I get to you guys, because we wanted to see Bortus beat the crap out of these people. So they needed to show us it, so it made it more emotionally invested. So I know you already gave your thoughts, Mike. I'm sorry, Matt, and you already gave your vote and downvote. So we're gonna go to Danny now.
Oh, this is up, definitely an upvote. The girl who plays Topa was amazing in these scenes where she's like she's getting punched in the face and blood's coming out, and this guy's just so like scary, like because he's so calm and cool, and he's clearly got no conscience or soul because he has no problem torturing and then killing a child. And I know this sounds weird or whatever for me to say, oh, it was so awesome, but I mean, it was well done.
Right.
And I really enjoyed pretty much from here to the end. I mean, we'll get to it. And I know if Vader were in the chat, he would say, "Oh, what a surprise!" But I might have teared up at the end of this episode. You know what I mean?
Wait. Did you tear up or did you not tear up?
I didn't cry, but my eyes watered. Yeah, my eyes did water at the end of this episode.
What does that mean?
So he teared up.
He teared up.
Did you cry or no cry?
No, we talked about him tearing up.
Did,
Cry or no
did
cry?
you tear up? That's the question.
I feel like there's a bet going on.
Yeah, there's a
here,
bet
so-
going on.
There is.
Did
Okay,
you
yes,
cry? Danny,
yes,
did you cry?
Yes. Okay.
I won the bet. Yeah,
Damn
baby.
it.
Woo! $5
I said,
coming my way.
I said, I'm not surprised if Danny cried, but I'm going to say that he held strong on this one. You let me down, Dan.
I'm sorry to let you down.
Woo!
But
Yes.
we'll get there when we get there.
Please
and
look
I'll-
at that
I'll
face
defend-
and
I'll
tell
defend
me
myself.
Danny's not going to cry at that.
Yeah, look at that poor little.
Well, at the no, well, it was
The
more
only
like,
thing you need is an 800 number under that
no,
face
the scene
right
that
now.
made me cry was when
Yeah, it was the Clyde scene.
yes, yeah, the Clyde, yeah, it was a Clyde scene. But no, all of this stuff
Cats in the cradle
is great. And I can't wait till we get to the scene where Bortus actually comes in there because that talk.
Yeah,
to
well,
talk
we're
about
going to
that.
skip into that, but first, Mike, what about your thoughts on the torture?
Well, I think it's funny that everybody's talking about how much they love torture. I thought the torture was brutal, and I wouldn't say that I enjoyed it. But it was very visceral. In a way, old Cyclops there reminds me of the White Orc from Lord of the Rings, from Return of the King.
Right.
You remember him, the general of during the invasion of Minas Tirith?
Yep, I remember.
Yeah, and it was pretty brutal. I'll give it an up, just for being a very effective torture scene. And like I said, Imani, man, for child actors rarely give that strong a performance, and
Right.
she brought it. She absolutely. I don't know how old Imani is. I didn't look it up, but she absolutely brought it.
All right, so is this your first upvote or?
No, I gave one early on.
Okay, so is this going to be an upvote or a downvote?
Oh, it's an up.
Oh, and I will be acting as Tilly for the rest of the show, and I'm going to give it an upvote as well. Wow. Impressive. Thomas, he upvoted. He upvoted, man.
I upvoted twice.
Yeah, you did. That's fair. Okay, we're moving on from this. Unless you have something else to say, Mike, while I'm scrolling.
Are we
Okay.
going to talk about Kelly's fall?
Okay. What do you mean? When?
Well, I mean, like when her and Bortus
When
are
they stormed
infiltrating
the
the base,
base,
they have to jump over this chasm, and Kelly literally falls down the chasm like a good couple stories, hits the rocks below, and just
And
dislocates
tears
her
a
shoulder.
ligament.
Yeah, something like that. Which Bortus instantly fixes, and it's
Yeah.
just like that would have killed her, right? I'm not
Yeah.
alone in thinking that, right?
No,
Yeah.
or at the very least, broken her legs, and probably fractured her spine.
No, yeah. She should have had a compound.
That-
She should have had a compressed spine and broken legs.
I mean, she hit a couple rocks like at the bottom of
Yeah.
that ledge. Also, did you guys get the sense that there was like a little sexual tension moment there between her?
Yes,
and
there
Bortus?
absolutely was, and I'm predicting a threesome moment coming soon with her
Yeah.
and the Moclans.
There was, and wasn't there like a mention of whether or not they were mates or something like that too?
Yeah, that was asked at the lesbian island.
Okay, so how would that work, dude? He lays eggs. I don't
Well, I
understand.
mean, he's got a penis, right?
Yeah,
But is his penis an actual like sex organ, or is it used for urination? Because he lays eggs, bro.
Well, we don't know. He's also got a tongue and fingers, so.
yeah.
Oh, jeez.
And Moclan.
Dear sweet baby Jesus, I was listening while I was refilling your
Oh,
drink.
God.
So
You
Bortus,
guys, I did
Blyden,
not-
and Kelly. That's.
I didn't get that sexual tension
Be-
vibe at all. Maybe
do we
I
call
missed
him
that
Belly?
scene.
Is that it, Belly?
Yeah, belly.
I got the
Bortus,
sexual.
Blyden,
I got
Kelly.
the sexual tension and the weird foreshadowing too. All right, I'm just gonna skip past those. Yeah,
For Eldon.
Yeah,
All right.
they're like a thruple now.
Yeah.
they're a throuple.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're beating the kids. They crap at the kid. They go.
I mean, Topa already looks up to her as like a mom, right?
Yeah, we're gonna skip
They-
past.
and
all
they
this.
did say she's part of the family.
Yeah.
All right, we're skipping to the council.
Oh, look, it's Hillary
Bruce
Clinton.
Boxleiter. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, from Babylon,
Babylon
5.
5.
Yeah.
So
He always makes everything better.
There's Hillary Clinton
can
again.
someone tell me why Gordon is in this council meeting?
Because he's like a sister to, or he's like a brother to.
I need a real
It's like the little sister he never had.
Why is he sitting in the corner watching like this count?
I have no idea why he's
Because
in
he
there, other than to
insisted
voice
on going because he's always been like a big brother.
Well, I get
Why,
that.
why would the Admirally? Why would the
Always
Admirally,
been that way
allow
for
him
a
in
whole
there?
day and a half.
Yeah, but no, I think why is he in this meeting? Like, I get why he's there and like sitting in the audience and stuff, but I think
this
the only
meeting. Why is he in that
So
meeting?
yeah,
So
the
that-
only reason they inject him in this meeting is to say
So
what
he
the
can,
audience is thinking.
so he can be the person to insert the old-fashioned religious types are bad line.
And also, like he paid no consequence for his outbursts. Like there was
Yeah. By the way, he
there
would
was
be
no punishment.
court-martialed and thrown out of the service.
Yeah, immediately. I was in the service.
He did
I
say he fully
guarantee you,
expected to
if
get
I
court-martialed.
If I just
Yeah, he
yelled,
said he
wasn't.
expected to be, but he won't be.
He didn't
yeah,
even get a slap on the wrist.
these are like admirals and like big higher up people. He's
The
like,
president's in the room.
Yeah,
freaking
this is
president's in
high.
the room.
This is high level diplomacy
Yeah.
right here.
John Byrne super chat. Thank you, John. This
John,
guy's-
save some for me,
He
please.
said threesome, and Topa opens the door of the holodeck. Oh god! My brain
The sexual event has commenced.
My brain is hurting as to how. I don't know how they would mate. It doesn't. I don't see how. No, I'm gonna stop.
They don't have to mate; they just have to pleasure each other.
Oh
Yeah.
god!
That's
Kelly
like
will
it's
make
like how did like that's come on, man. Where are you one of those guys that still doesn't understand how two lesbians can have
here's all
sex?
you
Come on.
here's all you have to do is go, Kelly, don't have sex with them. And then she'll figure out a way to make it work.
See you,
Yeah.
TJ. Thanks for participating in the chat.
Later,
room.
TJ. Love
Yep.
you, man.
Kelly's like the female Lamar; like she'll
Yeah.
sleep with anything, right?
Yeah. Kelly, do not. I repeat, do not have sex with two Moclans at the same time. Don't do it. Don't do it. Next episode, Kelly has sex with two Moclans at the same time.
And then you know what's going to happen? Kelly's
No.
going to lay an egg.
It's not going to happen because the Orville isn't funny anymore.
Oh, bro,
It-
it's like that. It's like that Always Sunny thing. Like Kelly, do not have sex with two Moclans. I'm telling you, don't do it. And then it cuts to black. Kelly has sex with two Moclans.
Yeah.
No, yeah, you know what's going to be great? Here's how the last episode of the Orville's going to, because we'll find out next episode that she and they're a throuple, right? And then the final episode will end where she's starting to have a baby bump, and they're like, but I didn't think humans could get pregnant from Moclans. And then they do an ultrasound on her, and she says, so is it a boy or a girl? And then Dr. Finn's looking like it's and then the camera pans up to the ultrasound.
Oh,
An
God.
egg.
Hey, that's
Dun,
hilarious.
dun, dun.
I did like some of the.
If the Orville was still a comedy, I would be on board with this. But you guys know this is never going to
There's
happen.
also only
I would
2
fully
episodes
expect in
left.
season
Yeah.
2 for Kelly to have an egg.
Yeah.
I like the alien design of these union members. It's absolutely amazing. I don't know.
Yeah, I was like, how come we haven't seen more of these races?
Yeah, there's
Well,
so,
you know,
they're
they
so
had some
unique.
money left in the budget, so they spent it on alien heads.
They're so unique. We saw this race. We saw those.
Yeah,
Spike
didn't
Oh, that
Lamar
yeah,
had
because
sex with
Lamar
one of
had
them.
sex with that race. And
Like,
why?
how many planets are in the Union here? Do you think?
Okay, well let's go back
A
and
lot.
count. Apparently, there's a lot, bro.
Because if there are this many aliens in the Union, how is it that they're still on the ropes from the Kalons? Like, isn't
Because only Earth makes ships.
No, yeah, I can tell you exactly what it is. Okay,
Earth is the only ones that all the Union ships are
No.
made by Earth and
let me be
manned
clear.
by
I'm not
Earth.
disparaging any other country out there, but let's look at this as United Nations, right? Let's
Right.
consider this the UN.
Right. The United States is the military.
And there's a bunch of
The
other
end.
countries. Yeah, so like, I think if the Federation or whatever it's called is, what are they called? Whatever it
Earth.
is, if the humans are on that level, if they're like the allegory for the United States, then that actually makes a lot of sense for there to be like 70, species in there, and for the United States to be the one doing all the work, not doing all the work, having all the military. I'm trying to be really respectful.
Okay, so according to Orville.fandom.com, there are over 300 member planets.
Okay, so why do we never see any? Okay,
So out of those 300, Earth's the only one who makes ships.
yeah, apparently.
Yep.
I think
I
I think
mean-
it's supposed to be like the UN and the
And-
United States is like the allegory for the UN.
You know,
But
And
we've seen
Moclan
other
is
races
the only
with
one
ships,
that's any
right?
good at making weapons.
Yeah, the Moclan's only good. So Moclan's are like,
you know, it reminds me of like, Star Wars did this kind of thing. Like,
Right.
instead of like looking at
Moclan.
like,
Danny,
like,
I hate to interrupt,
yeah,
but
yeah.
what weapons? Like, if all it takes to fight the Kalons are starships, what are the Moclans contributing?
All the weapons.
But what weapons?
All of them.
all of them.
But
But they haven't used any against the Kalons. It's all been
They're,
space.
they're
battles,
pew
right?
pew guns.
yeah, like they had all that before the Moclans, like.
Mike
Yeah,
is
but
like,
they build them on Moclan.
Oh, so you're saying we're outsourcing like we do all of the jobs here in America?
Moclus is like
Moclan's
China.
Moclus is our
Moclus
China.
is
It's
China.
their
China.
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 Yeah.
China,
Okay. So
China.
on topic though, these aliens look pretty rad. Like these are
Yeah.
super unique. They're all
No, I've always liked the variety of alien species in this show, but like nobody thinks through. Like, okay, it's been kind of running theme throughout Orville that like politics, like whatever, it's just like whatever, But like, I'd like to have like a little bit of continuity, in terms of like the political landscape and like the Union and the planets.
Well, that's the problem. We went from
races.
12 episodes to 14 episodes, and this season's only got 10 episodes. I mean, it's like that's barely like if this were TNG back in the 80s and 90s.
We got a season and a half.
a season and a half. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Yeah.
they don't have the time to build this, or maybe they do have the time to build the story, but they're so focused on cramming a political agenda that they're
it's
not.
that. It's the
you know.
streaming. It's because it's the model of the way streaming is set up.
Yeah, but the first two seasons weren't even streaming. They just didn't do much.
Yeah.
Maybe
yes.
he's saying that's why this change
Yeah.
is
Well,
happening.
the Orville was a mid-season show. It
Yeah.
came in the middle of the season.
This is
to
what
kind of
this is
fill out
what's been
stuff.
happening over the last 4 years, and
Mm.
it's reaching a point where I don't think there is never going to be there will not be another show that runs 16 to 22 seasons. Not going to happen because it's not a
You mean
profitable
episodes?
model.
You mean episodes?
Episodes.
You said
sorry.
seasons.
I
Okay, yeah.
meant episodes. It's definitely
Okay.
not seasons. I meant episodes because it's not a profitable model. Before on network television, the way you made money was by ads on a show. So the longer a show ran and the more successful it was, the more ads you can cram in the show, the more the money you would make. You would then increase the salaries for Joey and make sure you're making a 12th season of Friends or whatever. But that's not the model anymore. The model is we need to make content that brings in subscribers. Now, once they already have you in the door, they don't need to continue making these shows that are more and more expensive every season. They shut it down. And the same with episodes. They just need enough to give you enough to binge to get you in the door to sign the contract. That's it. Most people are not going to be pausing their membership between seasons. They're going to set it up and they're going to walk away and they're going to forget. And the few percent that do turn their service off while they're waiting for the next show are it's nominal at best.
I would do that if I didn't get Netflix for free for having T-Mobile, because I actually have done that with like other services that I was actually paying for. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's actually a term for it. I think it's called waterfall or it's like when you hop between streaming services, you never actually keep more than one member.
Yeah, because right now I'm using the free version.
Stream watching.
Watching. The free version of Peacock instead of the paid version. They used to pay for it for wrestling and stuff.
Oh, nothing.
And then the in Paramount Plus, I have to keep it around, most of the year.
Well, you're smarter than I am, bro. I have 13 streaming services. I spend $126 a month on things.
You know what though? Please tell me you're not doing that on top of paying cable or instead of.
No. I haven't had cable since Roku.
Okay.
Since the very first Roku hit the shelves. That's
Okay.
Since I bought my first Roku, I turned off the cable. Yeah.
I've lived in Vegas over 12 years, maybe like 12 and a half years. And I have not had cable or satellite the entire time I've lived here.
Yeah, I literally turned it off almost 10
and it's
years
because
ago.
it's so if you think about it though, $126. I mean, what? Sadly, that sounds about like my cable bill.
That's what my cable bill used to be. Yeah, John Burns giving me another super chat. Thank you, John. 10 episodes over an hour long each. My idea. I mean, that's what they're giving us, right? In fact, if you think about
bad idea though.
Wait a minute though. If you think about it, they are all over an hour. Like the normal episode was what, 43 minutes, 42
Yeah,
minutes?
but here's the thing, and Michael has proven this, and I don't know if you've seen his cut of Orville episode 2, the one with the spider creature guys. I forget the name of it right now.
Mm-hmm.
He recut it, and I argued that there was one other scene that he could have cut out, and I still stand by that. And you do that, you turn that episode into exactly what they want to have ads. Is like 43 to 45 minutes instead of like the hour and 15 that it was, because there was so much superfluous stuff in that. In all of these, they're just fattening them up, because or they're just editing out less, they're cutting out less because they're like, oh, we can be however long we want because it's on streaming.
Right.
So I actually think it's doing a disservice to the episode.
So I've been sitting on these fat guys for a while because I like this makeup. I just wanted to make that point. So this makeup
That's not
fantastic.
makeup. That's just Lore Reloaded when he lets it out.
Oh. Okay. We show, Topa's is beat up.
Now this scene. What are we going to upvote, downvote like this scene here coming up?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, this is actually one of our final scenes to upvote and downvote. So make it good.
Okay.
Starting with you, Matt.
All right. So the scene where basically they come back in and do like their big "you can't handle the truth" moment in front of like the Union Council.
You can't handle the truth, right?
Like the moment that the Moclan ambassador said, like, let anyone who objects to this come forward. I was like, Hugh, Bortus, Kelly, and Topa, and of course they come walking in, and they make a very compelling case, and it was a good climax to like the whole storyline.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, it was just the fallout of this, like the fact that the Union then votes to expel Moclan from the Union as opposed to sanctioning them or holding a trial for those accountable and stuff like this. And they never explained why the Moclans were torturing this, like how they knew that this girl had knowledge about this.
They bugged the place or something. That's what someone said.
Well, but that was nothing like that was in the episode to tell the audience that stuff. That's headcanon stuff. So
are you saying something, Danny? Because we can't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry, Danny. Go ahead.
Oh shit! Did you mute me again?
Yeah.
I said a bunch of stuff. I don't even know. Like,
sorry,
well.
Well, I wasn't finished with
Danny
my
finish.
point.
Okay. No, you guys go.
Matt.
Yeah.
So I like this scene, but at the same time, I feel like the plot contrivances are very strong here. So again, it cancels it out up and down. I can't give it a point or deduct it from my score. So.
Oh, that's fair, I suppose. All right. What about you, Danny?
I wish I could remember what I was saying. I like this scene. So are we going to break up? Because we're
this
talking.
This is the last up down.
Oh, this is the last one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I have to give it an up then, and I mean, just if it's going to be the last one, and I'm just doing that more because we still have the Clyden scene, right?
I mean, I wasn't gonna, but I mean, what? Yeah, I guess I wasn't gonna do that one, but we could do that one. So we'll make the second to last, then Clyden.
Okay. Well then, okay. I like this scene. I like the power of the performance. I like, everybody's been complaining we haven't been getting a lot of Bortus. And this was a Bortus episode, and I love seeing him beat the ever living daylights out of that dude, and
when he stabbed
burn
him in the
him,
eye.
it burned out his other eye.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
I was surprised Kelly
great.
didn't let him kill the guy.
I was like, turn around and kill the guy, because then, and I guess we passed over this. So right after that, apparently they had their guns on stun, and I telling you, the Moclan,
They never said they were on stun.
No,
In fact,
they had to
"Move
be
and I'll
on
kill
stun,
you."
because hold up, she shot that guy, and then that's the same guy that was in a ship chasing her and shooting at her, because I literally said to my TV, I was like, see, good guys are stupid. If you'd have just killed the guy, you wouldn't be going through this right now. But no, you had to stun him.
Right, you had to stun him.
Yeah.
But they also left them with the knowledge of the Underground Railroad stuff.
Yeah. So it didn't make any sense. It was like, I really thought after after Bortus turned around and picked up his gun, I was disappointed when Bortus didn't shoot the guy. I really was expecting Bortus, because I would have, if you did that to my daughter, and I walk in and I hear you say, like, how they planned on murdering her,
mm-hmm.
I would have turned around and shot that dude. Court martial be damned. I'm really surprised. Like whoever just said a second, I'm really surprised Kelly wasn't all about it.
I'm not convinced that guy's alive, by the way. Just so you know.
Oh, the guy that got. Oh yeah, maybe not. But the other dude, well, he might have got killed.
I mean, he had a stun baton in the eye socket.
Yeah, yeah. I hope he's dying slowly and painfully. But yeah, Mom, I agree with you. We both agree there. Yeah, Bortus should have killed him. But so taking into consideration how much of this part of the episode I really did enjoy, I'm going to give this scene an up. Although I do agree with Kadish that I don't like. It was really weird. It was like from one extreme to the other. Like I felt like there should have been some, kind of like we do to Russia. We're not like type of thing. You know what I mean? Like it just seemed like they dealt in absolutes. So
all right. Well, I'll keep my portion brief here. I'm speaking on behalf of Tilly, and there's no way she doesn't give this an upvote. So I'm giving that an upvote, and I'm going to say I actually liked it too. I like this moment. I like the whole. I like the majority of the second half, to be honest.
Yeah.
I had no qualms about it. So that's it for me. What about you, Mike?
Wow.
This is another really bad one. This was the contrivance of them walking in right when they're like, nobody knows.
Sure.
And then there's also the fact that we're going to parade in this young child without any medical care, just so you can all see the horrors of her wounds and just get the emotional weight of all this. And we're going to literally drag in an injured child in front of the council for you all to gasp at, so that the emotional shock of this will sway your vote.
Right.
That's what they're doing here. Imagine if you beat up a kid and then drag that kid in front of Congress.
Right.
That's what they're doing. Okay. That is literally what they're doing. You would be accused of child abuse for doing that.
Right.
Well, in today's day and age, but I want to say I've seen
this is 500 years in the future,
right?
And so come on.
Well, yeah, but it's also science fiction wrote in this day and age.
But you say in today's day and age, they're supposed to be 500 years more evolved than us,
right?
And yet they're doing. And by the way, this is after these three had raided and murdered a whole bunch of Moclans,
right?
Okay, so no, don't give me this crap. These three should be actually locked up.
Wow.
And now I would say best episode ever if they walked in and Bortus took that stun baton and rammed it right up Haveen's butt.
Yeah.
Then sure.
Walked up.
Did we miss that?
Yeah.
That scene hasn't happened yet. Like
sure. I would be fine with that.
Yeah.
But then because she's the one that caused all this and everybody's going to be singing her praises, But, for them to walk in and say, look at this horrible thing, and it's all, you shall pay for the crimes that you have committed. What about the crimes that she committed? But no, nobody's going to say anything. All he had to say, when she says, I don't expect you to forgive me, you would be correct.
That would, yeah.
And it's
Actually,
like, that's it?
That's
it?
No, fair enough. No, I would have, as a, I'd love to get Brian's take on this. Wouldn't you? I don't know if I'd have decked her, but I definitely would have said some sterner words.
I would have murdered her in front of the council.
Yeah. Okay.
I would have walked up and just broke her neck. In front of 1,200 people. Wouldn't even be a question.
Right.
Yeah. And he doesn't even give her a stern talking to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Did you see my thumbnail?
I keep telling. I always
see. I kind of want to give that. I kind of want to give that a down.
I just tell people the same thing. Like I'm gonna be the nicest guy you ever know, and then I'm gonna be the most murderous villain you ever know if you touch my kids. And I expected more from Bortus, and the little we got was nice, but I did expect more. John Burns Super Chat says drag in is a little much. She walked in. Yeah, he did correct himself. A sentence later, she did walk in.
So Brian, can I do that? Can I give that, to cancel out? Because as much as I do like it, like that bothers me to the point I feel like I want to give that a down. The fact that Bortus didn't do anything.
Okay. Sure.
Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Doesn't really work that way, but we're just spitballing here now, man. No.
Yeah, man. Sorry.
All right, let's go. Skip to the Clyden scene. And this will be the last scene, and we'll just do final thoughts.
Okay.
So Clyden comes home. Who's Topa? And he's a completely changed man all of a sudden. I did like the scene, but I guess it required that Topa got almost killed for Clyden to not be a dirtbag or whatever. But I don't know, man, because he's been like this exact character for 2.5 seasons, and then one really gnarly event, and he flips a switch. I don't really have this is not an up or a down for me. It's more like I guess he's redeemed now. And
well, you're taking her place. She would have totally given this an up. I wish you would.
I know. I gotta give it up for her sake. I'm sorry, Tilly. I gotta do it for you.
Yeah.
All right, Matt. Let's the final up vote, man. Tell me what you think.
I really like this scene. I thought that Clyden coming back and realizing that he'd been wrong and that his love for his daughter overcame his prejudices was a very good message, I thought. Mm-hmm. Plus, I like seeing kind of like a happy ending for the Bortus family, where the family unit comes back together, and the wayward father is kind of welcomed back into the family, and everyone loves one another. Right. And it took this very traumatic event to make Clyden realize that he loves his child no matter whether it's a boy or a girl. So I felt like this was a very good way to end the episode, and I'm gonna have to give it an upvote.
Okay,
awesome.
All right,
awesome. That warmed my heart hearing you say that.
All right, we got a couple of super chats. John Burns, another John Burns. Thank you, sir. Ravina's what? Threesomes become foursomes. Oh god.
Oh god.
And the Texorcist. Thank you.
Yeah.
He says, thank you, my friend. He says, a heartfelt reunion and an accepting dinner. Happy ending. Moclan is now out of the union. The Krill are aggro, and the Kalins are still out there playing to kill everyone. Thumbs down.
Oh.
Yeah, well, this is sort of the theme of this episode, though, right?
Yeah.
What's the interpersonal, what's important to them, in their little bubble, in their little universe,
right,
is the most important thing in the universe. And nothing else is important. Not the Krill, not the
big picture.
Not the yeah. There's no big picture people in this episode. They're all, real interpersonal. You're totally right. I mean, dude, there's still they're fighting 2 wars right now, and they just lost their weapons. I would be so stressed out if I was a Union right now. From what we've been told, they are fighting 2 wars on 2 separate fronts, and they just lost all their weapons. I mean, I don't know. Sounds like a problem. All right, Danny, you're up.
I loved this scene, and it was very realistic and relatable, because sometimes it really does take. I feel like people like you and I would never ever feel that way, but unfortunately, I've had a parent that has, and I was in a very bad automobile accident. That's where this terrible scar came from, and was in a coma for 3 days, and everybody thought I was going to die. And
Jeez.
my father flew out, like, when I woke up. He wasn't there when I woke up, but he showed up like shortly after I woke up. He was the first person there,
Right.
And we do not have that kind of relationship. You know what I mean? But we kind of do now, and because it took like him, like, oh God, man, he might actually die before me. It really, something like this, a traumatic experience like this, I think, can really put somebody who's kind of closed-minded or bigoted or whatever, kind of open their eyes. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Kind of, so that's why I cry. It really resonated with me personally, and because I feel bad that Kadish lost that bet, because I feel like if he had known this part of my history, he would have never taken that bet. Because
I always bet on you to cry, bro.
Yeah, I'm like Kevin Smith. It's terrible, but I'll cry at a good life insurance commercial. True story. Like, it was a life insurance commercial.
Oh my God. All right.
Yeah, but no. So yeah, I
So
got to
it's
give
an
it an
upvote
out.
for you.
Yeah, you're like, I get it. Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Mike, talk to me, Goose.
Too stupid for words. Moment number 8.
Uh-oh.
Clyden's redemption. So he just pops in and is all better now. Really, no build up, no arc. He was just
Right.
a complete bigot the last time we saw him.
Yeah.
With the "I wish you were never born," and now he's seen the light, and all is just forgiven. I get it that he's been on Moclan and all that, but why has he just suddenly? We haven't seen him. We haven't seen any change in him. He's just like he went the last time we saw him. I wish you'd never been born. He's been living with his own bigoted people, so there's nothing on Moclan that would change his mind. But then, he finds out that this little horrible creature that he wishes never had been born had been beaten up, and all of a sudden it's like, oh no. And then he comes back and says, I was such a horrible monster. I was so prejudiced. I'm so regretful. I was a horrible bigoted monster, and now I want to renounce my Moclanhood, and I just want to be forgiven and sensitive. I just want to be emotional like you. No.
So I'm assuming that's a downvote?
Yeah, you would assume correctly.
Okay. And I know for a fact.
And I'm sorry, that is not realism. That is Hallmark writing.
You're right. You're right. I know for a fact Tilly is
I'm
playing this.
I don't get me wrong. I know that it feels nice, but if somebody is genuinely willing to say to their child that I hate you because of what you are, and turn their back on their child to that extreme, to where they leave their spouse and their child never to see them again, and leave the country basically, and abandon them, and then they're not going to suddenly come back because someone got hurt, not even killed, just got hurt, and all of a sudden come groveling back, and not only just come groveling back, but renounce everything about themselves.
Yeah. I had the same problem. You just voiced that way better than I did. I agree with you. It felt like it just happened overnight. And
if he had said, maybe I was wrong about you, it's going to take me some time to process. Okay. But the fact that now, the next day they've renounced their citizenships and they're sitting there having dinner like it's never happened.
Yeah, that was much.
No.
Yep, I agree. Okay, so we've come to the end, my friends, and let's walk through, and they invited Kelly to dinner. Just a heads up. All right, let's look at the scores. We got
for the first throuple night of fun.
We got a +1 from Matt, a +3 from Danny, and +9 from Chili, and -6 from Mike. I'm actually stunned that we somehow stayed positive on Matt's side. That's impressive. I'm not shocked at all about Maria's score, and I'm not really shocked about your score either, Danny. And to be honest, Salty, I think that Mike, you might have been a touch too salty this episode, just a little.
No
bit.
such thing. No such thing.
All right, so someone do the math here. What's the average?
Total 7, so divide 7 by 4.
Are you expecting one of us to do math?
Yeah, I don't do math.
Just divide 7 by 4. You got a calculator? Divide 7 by 4.
3. It's 3.
3.5.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is your mic off, dude? Sorry, bro.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How long has that been?
It's
anyway?
because you keep making the weird noises.
Oh, I'm sorry. 1.75 is the math on that. So 2 to make it easier, I guess. Round it up.
1.75. That's the score.
Okay.
I'm not rounding up with this garbage.
All right, 1.75. All right, guys. All right, so look, we're gonna do the raffle real quick. Finish this raffle out. All right, who is gonna win? We let this went 2 hours. I'm like,
this episode was an hour and a half or whatever, an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah, that's what it was. Okay.
And you had me on.
And we really did gloss over a lot of stuff. Yeah, plus instead of just you and your brother, you had 5 people.
That's true.
Yeah,
Okay, guys, we're gonna wrap up the raffle. You guys ready?
Ready.
I'm closing entries. Boop, 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 boop. And I'm picking a winner. Boop. Mercer Create has won the first Blu-ray. I don't know who that person is, and he's gone now. So
we'll have to let him know. Yeah,
I'll let him know. He's almost always on my streams.
Yeah. He probably came here to follow him.
Let him know. Let him know he got one of the Frontier Blu-rays.
So just have him DM you on Twitter.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
we'll tell him.
Works. Okay. You guys got time for one more story, real quick?
One more story. You don't mean another episode, do you?
No. I just want to touch on. I want to touch on at least one story.
I don't know about these guys. I can give you like another hour, but that's about it.
All right. Well, that's okay. Great. Thank you. I don't need an hour. I just need to wrap up a couple topics. Okay, guys. What we're gonna do is we're gonna quickly start one more raffle, and this is gonna be a lot less time here. So get your raffles in there. Instead of the DVD, I'm gonna make sure the next raffle is for the Rick and Morty one. So the Rick and Morty Chia Pet.
I'm entering that one. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, man. Is starting now. Get ready.
Not the unicorn horn.
This is super unique, isn't it? Okay. Where is it now? Go. All right.
I'll be back.
All right. Here we go. Rick and Morty Chia Pet is going. Okay, next we're going to talk about a couple things. I had a big list here, but it's actually getting late and I'm tired. I didn't realize this review was going to go so long. I want to talk about the Stargate trend, the We Want Stargate trending thing with giant freaking robot. I want to complain about that badly. And I want to look at the House of the Dragon. You guys got time for that? You guys saw the has anyone seen the House of the Dragon trailer yet?
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right, cool.
Yes.
All right, so let's talk about Stargate first. 1 second.
What's House of the Dragon?
The Game of Thrones sequel.
Yeah, sequel or prequel?
Well, it's a prequel, but it's a follow-up to Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna save that.
But if we're talking about Stargate, though,
no,
sadly,
I'm gonna do House of Dragon first.
okay.
I'm actually getting really tired. All right, we are talking about House of the Dragon. Brand new trailer just dropped yesterday. A lot of blonde, pale skin in this trailer, but it's a good one. We're gonna play it, and we're gonna react to it, and we're gonna get your thoughts. You guys ready?
Yep.
War is afoot.
There's no audio.
Yeah.
You guys can't see the audio.
And we can't hear the
You
audio.
cannot see the audio. No.
I don't think
Hold
I'm
up.
not that talented. I don't.
Yeah.
see.
It was clearer than a memory.
Hold up, I'll fix it. My bad. Great pod. Never mind.
Maybe it's a sign that we should end the stream.
Yeah. I'm exhausted. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up. Actually, you know what? Let's finish it with the raffle real quick. Get the raffle. Get your raffles in there really quick, everybody. I'm getting hungry, and John Burns bought me pizza, so I'm just saying.
Can you send that pizza 3 months into the future?
1, 2.
I swear to God, if we don't get that payoff in the final episode,
Come on, guys,
We
get your
better.
raffle tickets in there. It's
I already
exclamation point
bet,
raffle.
I bet you guys that we weren't getting a payoff, right?
What's that?
I bet these two guys that we were never seeing that.
Oh, we're not seeing the sandwich payoff. Yeah, there's only 2 episodes left. There's no way you see the sandwich. I don't even think it could be 3 months in the future.
that's a huge lost opportunity. You know, come
Yeah,
on.
guys, get your raffles in there, and whoever wants a Rick and Morty Chia pet. My brain dead right now, dude.
Well, when do you sleep, bro?
Not
My God,
not enough.
yeah, you're always. It seems like you're always up.
All right, there's only 7 people entering. Oh, there's 8. I'll take that. You guys ready? We're closing the entries and we're wrapping the stream. Get in there. Here we go. Kenneth LaRoque. Kenneth LaRoque got the Chia pet. Woohoo! Kenneth LaRoque deserved it. He's been like supporting us for like 4 years.
Congratulations,
Right. Kenneth, you know how to reach us, bro. I don't even gotta tell you. You're on. You already know us. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap that up. Thank you everybody for sticking around this long. I truly did not expect it to be such a long review. One topic for that long really just drains the crap out of you. We love you. Thank you for joining us. I want to thank all you guys, Mike and Matt and Danny. Thank you so much for filling in for Shane. I really appreciate it. It did feel like just another salty Saturday, except for
especially when Maria
13
left,
times
that was
longer.
fun.
But it's been great. You guys have any final thoughts where they can find you? What do you guys do in the future? Talk to me.
Well, in about 90 minutes, we'll be on my channel continuing the same discussion.
Literally
why I was
talking
like
about
earlier,
the
I was
exact same thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
We gotta find somebody else to spice it up. I'll just do it in character. I'll put on my mankind mask again or something. I don't know.
All right.
So-
well, so in 90
I'm thinking we
minutes,
should-
these guys are going to be on Salty Trekkers channel, probably talking about the same thing.
Yes.
And Brian's going to be on our Salty Saturday this weekend,
Yes.
talking about stuff with our rotating panel of expert commentators. So it's at 10 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern. If you guys want to hop on that on the Salty Nerd YouTube channel, should be fun.
Danny, what about you? Where can they find you, brother?
I'm on the social, pretty much all the socials, but mostly Twitter, Dork Knight at Dork Knight LV, which is right down there.
Yep.
And then I've actually become like daily contributor now to Pop Culture Minefield. So pretty much Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. we do Coffee with Gary. Today we started a new show called True Crime Thursdays. Had our first guest on. It was pretty fun and fascinating, and
cool.
Gonna have
Did you actually commit a crime like during the live stream?
Yeah.
No. Today we were interviewing a former federal prosecutor.
Cool.
Who was. We didn't talk about the Wynn case because he wants to have him back. We're gonna have somebody else on next week.
What a great idea that would be, though. Like, one person out of a group commits a crime, the other three people have to figure out how it happened.
Yeah, there's a board game. I forget the name of it. It's just that premise. It's a lot of fun. But so yeah, Pop Culture Minefield, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m.
And I mean, like, actually commit the crime. Like, you know,
Yeah.
have one person on the phone. And, okay, so I'm committing the crime right now.
Yeah. I just stole a baby.
Yeah. Thursdays with this gentleman, Mike, at 6 Pacific time. Saturday, but I don't want to plug that because I don't want to compete with the salty nerds. Yeah, I keep telling the dude he needs to change the time.
We changed our time months ago to not compete. Hey, Kenneth the Rogues just said it took 4 people to fill in for Shane. I'm going to tell Shane you said that. He'll feel nice.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we had to like fill the body mass index.
Whoa.
Also, I forgot to tell you guys, Maria is gone
Kidding.
now, but she was here at the beginning. Go check her out at @T_Tilly on Twitter. She's great.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that's it. We are out of here. Mercer, you won something. Get in touch with me. Give me your information. We love you guys so much. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for filling in for Shane. It's been fun. I'm exhausted. John Burns bought me a pizza. I'm going to eat it.